my hand in the darkness. Summer heat, bodies lay on the carpet. Eye to eye, glistening, no, I saw it. I saw it. You're golden, golden, honestly you know it. Me onto the street like at the young so I could show it. You're golden, golden, honestly you glow it. Me onto the mess and then just so that I could show it. You're golden. Hey, you're golden. You're golden. You're golden. Golden. You're golden. Yeah, you're golden. You know it. Yeah, you're golden. Golden. Golden, golden, honestly you know it. Me onto the street or at the end so I could show you. Golden, golden, honestly you know it. Me onto the west, me onto the golden. Hey, you're golden. You're golden. You're golden. Golden.
when I aim up, elevating that game up, stepping up to the competition. Only first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate.
And for round 3 of the season, it is green and go here at Catalonia, and what a start it is so far for AKA Fix. So Max gets 2 cars there at turn 3. Monkey goes up the inside, he lunges up the inside of Max. That's to be the Hypertech and Noser side by side. Noser's round. This could be Smoky Devil's chance. 3 wide through the last corner. It's chaos at the moment. Noser's off.
I wish you were near. I'll keep you right here beside me. I need to know I'm not alone. Now take it home as the night begins to fade away to yesterday. I wanna stay in this moment here. I need to know which way to go. Now take me home as the night begins to fade away to yesterday. I wanna stay in this moment here with you. In this moment here with you.
These two as team, in fact, Dean was teammates with Phil and both with Bryn. Dean a little all over the place. Whoa!
With you.
like when I aim up, elevating that game up, stepping up to the competition. Only first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate.
For race 2 tonight, round 6 of the season, all green and go, and it is a good start at the back from Smithy.
Yeah, all in when I show up, whole place about to blow up, superior to that competition. I'm in first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate.
Bryn a little deep at the chicane, and X-Fake silent round the outside. As he got that move done, Bryn's going to try and look at him. Look up the inside, he sends one up the inside. Oh, good move from Bryn that. Going to be Exit Tibbs, who is going to win round 6 of the season from Sekulovic. Mordecai a little further back. Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to SimPlay Motorsport here for the Pro-Am Championship. We are live here in Zolder, and it's going to prove to be a fantastic night of racing as we get into this one. We're at Zolder, we're in Belgium. I'm your host, Mathew Duffin. Joining me in the commentary box tonight is my colleague Ben, who is just, I believe, coming back to his headset now. We'll get to speak with Ben in a few minutes. Hey, is it? No, you're fine, We are live, we're here in Zolder. It's going to be a fantastic night's worth of racing. Before we get into things and before we speak properly with Ben, a few things we just need to get through. Argent tonight, one podium for him. It will be his 50th here at SimPlay Motorsport. The Honda needs a podium tonight, or could do with a podium tonight, because that is close to its 50th as well. For Exit Tibbs, race 1 will be his 50th race start at SimPlay Motorsport. And if McLaren win 2 races tonight, that puts it one step closer to getting its 50th potentially tomorrow night. So a lot of things on in store tonight for that. But first of all, welcome Ben. How are you? Hope you're well.
Yeah, thank you for the question. I'm well. So we have an exciting and narrow and fast track.
Narrow and fast indeed. Are you a fan of the circuit?
Well, driving on it is actually, I really enjoy it because it needs a lot of concentration. It's really fast for GT3 standards. But for overtaking, it's not the best one.
No, it's not the best one. We could see some either brilliant lunges up the inside, some brilliant send-it manoeuvres, or we could see a few incidents as Sekulovic goes across the line and sets the fastest time of the session at the moment. We have got 17.5 minutes left of practice, and that gives plenty of time. We have received word just a few moments ago that Dean Wysocki will miss the first race of the evening. He's at a meeting to do with his something to do with his children, so he's got to sort that out. And he will hopefully be in for race 2, he says. So unfortunately for him, he will not be starting on pole position. He will miss the chance to be pole position. So the grid order for tonight has been updated, and hopefully the drivers have listened, because penalties now have started to be dished out for being out of position at the start of the race. We had one last night with John Andrews, so penalties now starting to be given out. It should be AKA fix on pole from Smithy. Max Mulder will be P3. Hypertech will line up in 4th with DJ Phil, P5. P6 will be Daz Automatic with Mordecai, P7. X-Fate will be P8 with Bryn, P9. Excuse me, Smoky Devil will be P10. Kieran Argent will be P11 with PN Motorsport, P12. Sooty Apex, 13th. Noza Kart Champ will be 14th. Sekulovic, P15. Exit Tibbs, race winner last time out, P16. And Louis Allen will be starting from the back of the pack. Why is he starting from the back of the pack? Well, that's because he's the championship leader. And with 357 drivers' championship points still up for grabs at the moment, it's Louis Allen who leads the way, 6 points clear of Exit Tibbs. He's 2 points clear of Sekulovic. It's a real 3-horse race at the moment. Noza Kart Champ, he won at Spa, let's not forget. He's P4 on 93 points, 23 off the championship lead. Monkey Boy's 2 behind him. He's not here tonight, unfortunately. 10 points is his teammate off the back of him. Sooty Apex racing once again in the blue and pink Bentley. PN Motorsport is in 7th place. He's a few points back. 3 behind him is Argent, up into 8th after a good week last week at Catalonia. Smoky Devil had a few good results last week as well. He's 9th on 65 points, with Bryn rounding out the top 10. P11 is X-Fate Silent after his maiden win last week at Catalonia in race 1. He's on 60 points, a point clear of Mordecai, who is on 59. Daz Automatic is on 13th place on 51 points, with DJ Phil and Hypertech tied 14th and 15th on 48. Max Mulder then on 47, with Smithy 45, AK Fix 39, Stealthsoft 13, and Dean Wysocki rounding out the rear on 10 points. 679 constructors points up for grabs. It's Dynaco Racing, who are 5 points clear of the Titan Oro Racing team, but with no Monkey Boy tonight, that could be disastrous for the Dynaco Racing team. SRL Pink McLaren are only 15 points off the back, before East and West Motorsport of Phil and PN Motorsport are P4, 50 points off the back. 2 ahead of MBR Racing of Mordecai and Bryn, then back to front of Argent Smithy are on 116, and MC Motorsport rounding out the last place on 13 points. So then that's our grid order, and that's our championship order. One thing, we forgot the most pointless championship at the minute, the manufacturers. McLaren, 311 points clear of Bentley, who are 160 odd points clear of Ferrari. They themselves are 142 points clear of Porsche. who are 38 clear of Aston Martin, who are 2 clear of Audi and Honda. They're tied on 261. Lexus then on 214 with BMW 65, Mercedes on 60, Nissan 48 and Lamborghini 13. That's the grid order. That's the championship stats. Let's go racing, Ben.
Yeah.
Excuse me, you're going to have to put up with me coughing a lot tonight because for some reason I cannot get rid of this cough. So I do apologise to everybody in the chat. So if I do go quiet for a moment, it's because I've muted my mic to cough. So apologies about that one. Right, in terms of the most success around this circuit, as we know, we saw that Ben Bath got his first win last week. The most successful driver around this circuit, this bodes well for tomorrow night, is myself, with 3 wins here. So hopefully we can add to that tally tomorrow night. Max Mulder then is the second most successful. He's got 2 race wins. So can he get a race win tonight? That'll be important for Max if he could get a race win and add to his tally. Holty, Kieran, Smithy and Sutty are all on that list with 1 win apiece. Sorry, not Holty. Argent, Smithy and Sutty all on that list with 1 win apiece. They can add to their tally, as well as Holty, Overtaker, KLF, BT Target and Ben Bath. In terms of qualifying, we only have 1 qualifying later on. Max Mulder, Holty, Overtaker, Unorthodox, Emplava, Leon Fernie, Master Ukbar, Maze Gamer, Smoky Devil, Andy and Disco all have 1 pole position each. So there we go. I've just noticed that I have added your name. You're on one of these lists for most successful drivers, Nexus. Spa?
Well, let's see about that. Last season I had a great chance until there was a collision.
Yeah.
3 wide. It's not a good idea here, because I said it's narrow.
Very narrow.
I
Very
remember
tight.
we were fighting for P1 for a few laps.
We was. Good battle, if I remember, as well. Nice battle.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we have a nice battle this week, because I may as well say it now. Let's hope I don't do what I did in race 1 last week, which was ran the engine map in fuel save mode in race 1.
Oh, so that was the reason.
That was the so if you're wondering why I was so slow, I ran the engine map in map 1. Yeah. So, yeah, not the best, not my finest hour. Let's just say that, not my finest hour. But hey, we'll see. We'll see what happens. In terms of though, this track, like you said, it's tight, it's twisty, but there's a lot of sections of straight here. If you can get a good run out the chicanes, Ben, you get a good chance to get side by side with your rival and try and overtake him.
Yeah, it's a track where you have to attack every curve really aggressively. So, yeah, it's a really tricky track and difficult to master.
PN was saying last night on commentary that he's not a fan of this track. Are you a fan of this track?
For me it's a mid, so I'm not a fan of it, but I don't hate it at all.
Yeah.
It needs a lot of concentration.
It does require a lot of concentration. Well, as we look at the lap times at the minute, with just under 13 minutes to go, Sekulovic and X-Fate Silent barely separated here at the moment. A couple of tenths back to Daz and Sutty, and then a couple of tenths back to Mordecai. But we're seeing little groups of drivers that are pretty close to each other.
Yeah. Let's see if qualifying 2 will be the same. Because we don't have qualifying 1, because we have a reverse grid order.
We do. Now, there is a slight chance of rain for tonight's race. Let's not forget, there is a very slight chance of rain. It was, I think, 10% the chance since, now obviously here at SimPlay Motorsport, we lock in the weather a week before. So the weather gets locked in on Thursday night, and whatever the server is set to is what it will be for race night. Last Thursday, after Pro, me and Mike and Sutty did a bit of testing, and it was a very wet track. The temperatures are very cold here this week as well, just to point out. Since last Thursday, there has been no rain. So since last Thursday, not a single drop of rain, but a lot of cloud cover. The thing to note here is, since we was off air, the session gets started at 7 p.m, so drivers can get in from 7 p.m. UK time, excuse me, to start their session, if you will. What this means is the track will develop and get quicker as the night goes on. It will also get quicker before the race starts. You see the track conditions at the top of your screen. It says fast. That should, by race 1, get to optimum potentially with all these drivers going around. The one thing to note here, though, is it has gone from thick cloud cover, and we've got now a bit of light cloud where a bit more sun's coming out. So that temperature before we went live, was the track temp was 17, 18 degrees. It's now gone up to 20. Now, Ben, how much does that track temperature affect the conditions?
In this game, it affects a lot. So, when the track is colder, you can lose about 3 or 4 tenths.
Yeah.
So, in this game, it's really deciding how fast the drivers are, or how grip do you have, how much grip do you have.
Yeah, indeed. So we get to a very good evening to Noza in the chat. Tech Leader, evening, back again, but this time to spectate. Tracy in the chat as well. Good evening, Tracy. Been a while since I've spoke to you. Let's go, Tibbs, she says. Bo Bezo, can I join on PC? No, this is PS4 only, my friend, at the moment. We are looking at moving to PC. Micro J's, good evening. Good luck to all the drivers tonight. Tips for the win, says Tracy. Overtaker, PN for the podium. Watch his laps improve, he's saying. And for Smithy, and Unorthodox, our admin, Smithy for the win. So we'll see what happens there then as we go through the evening. We've got a poll up, Smithy, X-Fate, Sekulovic or Daz for your race win. Who will get that one tonight? We'll ask Ben that as we get onto the formation lap, as we head into the final 10 minutes of this session. And I have to say, it's Mercedes who's now gone quickest, 2 tenths quicker than Sekulovic. Excuse me. But lap times for this practice session don't really mean a lot, do they, Ben? Because it's all about reverse grid, working your way to the front at the start of the race.
Yeah, qualifying too will matter. The 1 lap pace will be the most thing.
Now,
so yeah, it's only for qualifying too, so you don't know if they are practicing with race pace. So
now
it's
going
difficult to tell from free practice.
It is indeed. Going into this season, this is a question I asked PN last night, especially with AM, who don't qualify at all. They have 1 race. What do you focus on this season? Because now there's not 2 qualifyings. Do you focus more on that race pace more than qualifying?
On free practice, yes. So I was a really consistent driver always. So I like endurance more. So of course my race pace is good, and I'm always training on it a bit more than 1 lap pace, because I'm not really good at 1 lap pace. So I'm not the qualifier.
Yeah.
I only have 1 pole position, if I remember.
Yeah, I'm the same as you. I don't know how I'm up there on the pole position list, but I don't have many. Yeah, I'm not the quickest at all. I've got 16 pole positions. I think most of them have came on Formula 1. I don't have many in a GT car, so yeah, that's where we are with that one. In terms of this, what do you think that these drivers in Pro Am focus off? Because there's such a difference in pace at the moment. You see the top 2 separated by 4 tenths. Then it's a second back to Daz in third. Do you think that the Pro Am drivers really do focus on their race pace more? Because for all we know, we're looking at this, and X-Fate could have done that on low fuel, fresh tyres, and away he goes.
Yeah, of course, on free practice I always try to set a really fast time to show what I've got for qualifying, and then after I concentrate more on the race pace, so it's difficult to tell.
Difficult to tell, indeed. Right then. Oh, Expect Silent just has a bit of a moment there, a bit of a squirrely wiggle as he comes through the first chicane and bounces off that second part of it and manages to not spin the car around. Right, the track has just changed to optimum. So this is as good as the conditions are going to get, provided it doesn't rain. This will be as good as it gets. It will still get quicker, the track will, as it rubbers in, but it will always now be optimum until the end of the session, unless we get a bit of that rain around. And at the moment, we saw with Am last night, the 1 hour 20-minute practice session and the 45-minute race, the rain was fine, everything was good, it was away from the circuit. For tonight, we obviously have that extra bit of a race. You know, we've got the 1 hour 20-minute practice session, then we have a half-hour race, a 10-minute FP2 where we grab a break and have a bit of a drink, go to the toilet, make sure that us as commentators and the drivers are refreshed, ready for qualifying 2, which is 10 minutes, and then a half-an-hour race. We run actually an extra 35 minutes than Am here at Pro and Pro Am, so they've got the extra half an hour where we could see a bit of rain. Oh, excuse me.
Well, track temperature is actually started to increase a bit, so the track may get a bit faster.
it's just going to be interesting to keep our eyes on that track temperature, isn't it? Because the ambient temperature is only 15 degrees. So as that maybe gets warmer as the day goes on, the track will increase as the day goes on. And already with the track temperature going up 3 degrees, we're seeing that drivers are now sort of getting into them 29s and getting lower into them 29s as well. So this clearly proving the track evolution here.
Yeah, and I did testing earlier this day, and the track temperature was only 18 degrees if I remember right, and it means that I could barely go below 130, so it matters a lot.
Really does matter a lot, so we'll have to see what these drivers can do. I'm just actually looking at the weather for next week. So far, we're not looking too bad for Brands Hatch, but that'll be locked in tomorrow for that one. So don't worry about the weather for Brands Hatch now, but I was just taking a look at that one. Good evening to PM Motorsport in the chat. Let's hear from you in the chat. Don't forget, if you are new here, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and hit the bell to be notified. PM Motorsport and Unorthodox Dan Davis will be live tomorrow, 8 PM UK time, for the Pro Series, where myself and Ben will be out there on the circuits. Make sure you come and give your support to them too in the commentary box tomorrow night. Good evening to Smithy as well. Smithy for a win. Has the other 17 not turned up, you jokers? Says Smithy in the chat. Go on, Smith. Bit of belief, Smithy. With no Dean Wisocki, you now line up P2. So a bit of belief here, Smith, and you could possibly get this one done. Now, it's a shame that Dean has to miss this race. Obviously, he came into Pro-Am last week. He had a chance of starting on pole and really could have done something had he been on pole going into this race today. Ben, obviously we've spoke a lot this season about the McLaren. What car really do you think suits Zolder? Is it still a McLaren track, or what do we think suits Zolder?
Well, Lex Wade looks quick in that Mercedes, but he's the only Mercedes, so yeah. McLaren also looks like McLaren is. I think it's fast everywhere. So
yeah, I think it is.
I had a quite good pace with the Audi here as well.
Sadly, no Audis on the track tonight. I'm looking quite comfortable in the Bentley, so it's nice to see Sutty and Argent up there a little bit.
Yeah.
We saw Smokey have a bit of a better week last week. Without the rain, Smokey's BMW looked a better car. Could the BMW do something around here?
It doesn't look like that bad. It's up to P7, so we'll see. Yeah. Of course, we never know if the race pace is better or not.
Yeah, this is the question, isn't it? Obviously, later
we'll see
in the
about
day.
that in like 5 minutes. So.
Yep, so we've got the final 3 minutes of this practice session, then we'll have a minute qualifying in which drivers they can't qualify, they won't get around in time. That is just purely for us as broadcasters to bring you the stream that we can return to the garage, because the PS4 version doesn't let us change cameras when we're not in the garage, unfortunately. So it allows us that opportunity, as Louis Allen's just moved himself up into P5. We're currently watching Smokey Devil out on the circuit at the moment, who is coming round to complete his next time. And this is an interesting one to see here on what he can do and how he's going to go about his business, isn't it? Because for Smokey Devil, 2 seconds off that lead, little bit too much on the sausage curbs coming through the final chicane. The yellow flag's waving, you've just seen from the marsh. He crosses the line, possibly lost his time at that final sector there. Let's go on board with Mordecai. He's just coming out the pit lane. I'm just seeing on the Discord that a lot of drivers starting to use the fuel bot. Yeah. So people using the fuel bot to work out their fuel strategy. We saw last night that I think it was Shoemaker who ran out of fuel on the track. Have you ever ran out of fuel in a race, Ben?
No, I did not. I think it's the biggest shame to have on a racetrack, run out of fuel. So M has a 1 hour race, but they can't refuel either. Am I right?
They have 45 minutes, but can't refuel. Yeah, so they have to set their fuel strategy up before the race starts.
Yeah, so it's difficult with long distance, but there are good fuel calculators, and the Discord server even has a fuel bot.
Yeah. It does
But
indeed.
sometimes it can be tricky, so...
Yeah. Well, hopefully these drivers have calculated their fuel for tonight, and we'll
So,
get it all right.
yeah, so from my view, I use mythik.net for fuel
Yeah.
calculations, and when it drops it for me, I'll add the extra 3 or 4 liters because, yeah, it's the safest, and yeah, I usually get there.
Now, I've used the fuel bot a few times, and we've been okay so far, so we'll have to wait and see what happens as we go through the rest of the season. I used the fuel bot, worked my fuel out for last week, then ran engine mode 8, and turns out I saved a load of fuel, and yeah, not my finest hour. Not my finest hour. But we live, we learn.
Still.
We'll go again. Who's out there on a lap? 17 seconds left. Bryn's coming towards the hairpin. There's only 3 drivers out there at the moment. Argent's one, he's moved up to 5th. Mordecai's the other, he's 7th. Both on lap times, although Mordecai's just invalidated his. Pulls over, yellow flag flies at the end of sector 1. He returns to the pit. So Bryn won't get another lap. This will be Bryn's final lap here. Currently 4.1 off of the provisional pole time. So can he improve that as he comes into the final chicane? Gets the first apex nailed, second apex nailed as well. Back on the throttle, a little wiggle as he comes through the corner. And Bryn towards the line. Any improvement for him? Does. He goes ahead of Max Mulder, 3.2 off the pace now, so manages to find just about a second. We're now... Excuse me, we're now on board the man who is the last one to finish in practice. That is Argent. Currently 1.1 off the pace at the moment, so he's clearly improved his lap time here because he was down in 8th or 9th a little earlier. He's now up in 5th place, proving that the Bentley just has a little bit of pace at the moment. As Argent comes through the final corner, and here he comes to the line. Any improvement on his current time? No, I don't think there was. We can now do all this stuff to return to garage. We'll just double check the free practice. Argent actually went 3rd fastest at the very end of that session, so he did actually improve by 2 places there. So whether that was a low fuel run or a high fuel run, it was good for Argent. It got him 3rd place. So Ben, for you tonight, race 1's about to start. Who you tipping for the race win?
So X-Fate was stopping the free practice session, so I'll go with X-Fate, but of course anything can happen. But let's see.
Well, you're going to go X-Fate. I'm going to
go up.
I'm going to go Argent. I'm going to say Argent could have a chance of winning with that time at the end there. So
Yeah.
So let's see
Argent
what happens.
Has space.
Let's see what happens. 1 second, the drivers are now done. We can now return to the garage, which means we are ready to go to change cameras, meaning that we are good to go. So, X-Fate, the tip from Ben. Argent, the tip from me. The chatter going the way of Daz Automatic at the moment. So it's interesting to see as we now line up on the grid. And we'll get the chance to see who will be the man to do this here. It is, we'll read the grid order out in a moment as well, when they get going, so that they can get in the correct order and in the correct positions. And they can then be away in this race session. Excuse me, to make sure that they are fully ready to go. Now, we've said at SimPlay Motorsport, the leaders have to make sure that they wait for the traffic and have to wait for the pack. So hopefully everybody gets it right. Hopefully the grid order is correct, because penalties have started to be dished out here. One driver on a qualifying ban later on is Max Mulder. He cannot qualify for race 2. Come on, the Bentley, says Holty. Now, last season in Pro and Pro-Am, the Bentley took 2 wins, one of Holty, one of Argent here. And it also took 2 wins on Pro Night with myself. So Bentley, the last time we raced here on ACC, took all 4 wins. Bentley didn't win last night, it was McLaren's. That stopped the Bentley run, but can Bentley keep up their wins in Pro-Am? That's the biggest question. As a very good evening to our Pro-Am champ, Holty. We hope to see back out on the circuit very, very soon. And it'll be great to see him back in the championship and racing. So everybody readies up. Don't forget, Ant last night forgot to ready up. So that was disastrous for him. And tonight, everybody has readied up. Right, so we start to roll away. The grid order, as DJ Phil just rolls away, is AKA Fix should be on pole position. He gets to that front part of the grid now. Second place should then be Smithy, which it is. Great to see. Max Mulder should then be in P3. As he's coming through the pack now, hopefully the rest of the traffic is going slow enough to allow the drivers to get into the right position. Max Mulder is now past DJ Phil, he's up into P3. Next should be Hypertech. Hypertech should be P4. So DJ Phil has just decided to motor off here and stick with a pack, but he's well out of position. Hypertech now needs to get past DJ Phil. Hasn't yet. DJ Phil's not really slowing down to let Hypertech through here. So this is where DJ Phil should be slowing down, because DJ Phil then needs to be behind Hypertech. So after Hypertech, it should be DJ Phil. After DJ Phil, it should then be Daz. So let's see if Daz is currently behind Hypertech at the moment as they come down the straight. Daz is behind Hypertech. As DJ Phil now pulls down and now slows down, that should allow Hypertech the chance to go through. And hopefully it does. It does now. Hypertech goes through. Then it should be DJ Phil now, and it is. Then it should be Daz. And him and Mordecai are kind of inside each other. Now it's Daz. Mordecai should then be P7. We've just seen that he is. He's behind Daz. X-Fate Silent should then be P8, which he is. He's behind Mordecai, so that is brilliant there. Then it should be Bryn. Again, it is. So fantastic to see as the cameraman keeps going back and forth and panning around. As Max Mulder has spun, and DJ Phil did have a moment there as well. So Max Mulder's got to get back round into P3. So after Bryn, it should be Smoky Devil, which I believe it is. Yes, after Smoky Devil, it should be Kieran Argent, which it is. After Kieran Argent, it should be that of PN Motorsport, which it is. After PN Motorsport, it should be Sutty Apex, then Noza, then Sekulovic, then Tibbs. So actually, let's go back to Tibbs. Tibbs actually ahead of Sekulovic at the moment. So Sekulovic needs to get ahead of Tibbs before chicane. He's ahead now. Right, we then are good to go here. Nobody's out of position. That is exactly what we want to see, Ben, isn't it?
Yeah, so it looks like nothing disastrous happened during the lineup.
Yeah, it should have. It was nothing disastrous. Yeah. Sorry, I was just reading Dan's comment. There was a joke. Last pro race should have been a Lambo that won, apparently. Well, somebody repaired damage in the pit lane. Right, we go double file. We come to the start line, and as we noticed last night, the start line was a long way down the grid. You was pretty much at turn 1 as the lights went green and go. So down the start line we come. It is AKA Fix from Smithy with Max Mulder third. The race start is initialised, and we, for the first time tonight, are green and go here at Zolder for round 7 of the season at SimPlay Motorsport. It's a good start from AKA Fix, who's already starting to pull away from Smithy. We dropped down the pack a little bit. Smoky Devil has got cars all around him, and he's right in the middle. Daz looking up the inside, as is Sekulovic around the outside. Can't get it done. Argent's got a bit bogged down there as well. Back to the front though, AKA Fix, under a bit of pressure from Smithy here in his Porsche, as towards the inside they come. They all come through turn 3 nice and cleanly. Smithy looks up the inside now as AKA Fix goes onto the gravel, and here comes Smithy. He's won here before in the wet. He's now in the lead of this race. Max Mulder's looking as they come into the first chicane for the first time. We'll see as they come through it. So it is Smithy from Max, from AKA Fix, as Hypertech bunny hops over the curb to try and get P4. Mordecai is, there goes a spinning Mercedes into the front of Sutty. Hypertech and Fix go side by side as the cameraman pulls round now. Smithy, Max, Hypertech.
Smoky.
What happened?
That's a pretty. He was stationary on the track, and a lot of people bumped into him, so he has tons of damage. And
Fix!
It looks like
Whoa!
No,
there was an Aston Martin in the air there for a moment. And what is going on here? It's absolutely chaos. Right, Smoky Devil has had to return to the pit lane. That is a disastrous start for him. We're going to have to keep up with this grid order as they cross the line, Ben.
It looked like PM was involved in something, maybe this.
Yeah, it looked
smoky
like,
one.
I think Fix got turned around into the side of somebody. Right, Smithy leads from Max Mulder as they come down towards turn 1. Smithy still leads, and he's going to try and go the long way around Max Mulder
and
into
AK had
turn
another
1.
Bump.
AK's had another bump now then, so Smithy loses out. So Max leads from Smithy. Mordecai is P3 with Hypertech in 4th. Bryn is P5. Exit Tibbs up to 6th place with Phil 7th. Nose is in 8th with Daz Automatic 9th, who's having a look on Noser a little bit here. Argent is 10th, aka Fix. He has got a battered car, has not even made the start line at the moment.
Not the
PN's
dream
crossed the
start for
line
AK
11.
Fix.
He's got big damage. And look
Max
who's
is
coming
in
into the
the
pits.
lead.
X-Fate, Sekulovic, Louis Allen, Sooty Apex, aka Fix, and Smokey Devil's already there. What a disastrous start to this race.
It was not the cleanest start.
The stewards could be busy here as Hypertech gets past Mordecai. There is Mordecai bounced over the curb. Bryn trying to gain on the back of Hypertech. And at the moment, Max Mulder sitting pretty so far. He's got a 1 second lead out front from Smithy, who's kind of the train in the blockage in the road at the moment. Hypertech P3 on the back of Smithy as they all come through the final in towards the hairpin. And is Hypertech going to look for a move on Smithy? Smithy parks it in the middle of the road and everybody starts to filter in and through nicely. And Smithy, good run out the corner there, starts to plant his foot out. Smithy's having a great start to this race.
Yeah, and Max already has a 3-second lead.
Yeah, he's already flying as here goes Hypertech. Mordecai goes around the outside. Good move from him. He's got past. Bryn and Tibbs now a little further back looking to have a battle. I think contact was made. Bryn's got off. He's collected Daz. Tibbs goes off as well. So Tibbs is round. There's cars trying to avoid Bryn. They're being split each way till Sunday. And Bryn managed to get the car stationary on the road as Tibbs now gets going. And PN are way behind. A lot of drivers still in the pits, but it's Max from Smithy who's got the fellow Porsche of Mordecai trying to look up the inside, but he can't get past the minute. And this has been an absolute bumper cars wreckfest, I think the Pro-Am boys have been playing today.
And Mordecai and Smithy are fighting, and Mordecai overtook Smithy.
It's a good move, that, and I think Smithy went a little
Even
deep.
Hypertech.
Yeah, Hypertech's got a good chance here of looking past Smithy, and I
he's
think
ahead.
that is job done. And Hypertech moves up into P3 now with Mordecai's second place. Daz Automatic, did he get caught up in that with Bryn? I'm not too sure, but he's on the back of these guys. Looks like he's got a bit of damage to the front of his car. Nothing too serious, though, as X-Fate, Sekulovic and others are coming out of the pits, but they are a lap down at the minute. Out of the pits comes Sekulovic now. The last thing you want to do now is cut that pit exit, and oh, that could have been a cut to pit exit there. Two wheels could have been across. We're going to jot that one down just in case.
Yeah, and also pit exit is a really tough thing here because it leads to the almost the apex of the next corner.
It does indeed, and it's tricky
So it's
as well
not
'cause
the
it's right
safest
on the bend.
pit
No,
exit.
it isn't.
Yeah.
So then, Noser trying to gain on the back of Argent, who's just pulling away. The pit window opens in 5 minutes. Louis Allen is now coming out the pits, and he's nearly some 2 laps down to the rest of the field. In fact, as he comes out the pits, Max has lapped him again, and here comes the rest of the pack for Louis Allen, so he's got to be careful. He comes out nice and clean, but here comes the rest of the pack. Sooty's on his way out as well. AK Fix and Smokey Devil now come out the pits, so Smokey's on his way. I think Smokey's 3 laps down. Here comes Sooty as the pack come through. That was DJ Phil in 8th, just putting a lap on Sooty Apex. And then that was as well Exit Tibbs putting a lap on Sooty. So Max out front, 5.2 clear of Mordecai, who's just lapped that of Louis Allen. He's got 2 seconds back to Hypertech. Daz is now up to P4. He's on the back as Argent looks to overtake his teammate Smithy into the first chicane. And Argent up the inside. Smithy, he's had a couple of laps at the top of the order. Now just starting to filter back into position.
Yeah, Smithy started to fall back a bit fast.
Tech leader in the good evening to Brendan Smith, aka Hitman from the Am League, as DJ Phil gets overtaken by Tibbs right around the outside. So good move that as Sooty late on the brakes and nearly goes into the back of DJ Phil there. So Tibbs moves up another place as Hypertech has Daz on the back of him. Daz looks like he's just got past him. Tech leader as well. Wow, so many bumps. Indeed there is. I reckon the stewards are going to be busy tonight. Daz giving Louis Allen a flash. That is his teammate as well, let's not forget, of Daz. Now backmarkers have to move out the way. AK Fix still in the pits. So this could mean that Smokey Devil could get past AK Fix here. who hopefully he gets going. He's got to finish this race, but he had a lot of damage. Sutty unlaps himself from DJ Phil then, and that is that one done. As we move further forward, Hypertech on the back of Louis Allen now, and Noser on the back of Smithy. Smithy still 6th place. Smithy would love a top 10 here, and I'm sure looks like he could get it, because Smithy at least has kept his nose clean and won't have much damage when he does come into the pit lane.
Yeah, Smith is sliding a lot, actually.
Yeah, he's just gone a little wide, and that, is it going to allow Noser up the inside? It does. Smithy's coming back at him, though.
Yeah. Not sure what happened with Smithy.
No,
he was
but
leading a few laps ago.
He'll be the first one to admit he's not the quickest, but he enjoys the racing, and that is what we love to see. Tibbs now on the back of Smithy. They've got Sooty Apex coming with them, who's a lap down. Let's not forget AK Fix has now been passed by Smokey. Needs to really get out of the pit lane and get back onto that lead lap. So here comes Noser, pulled a bit of a gap over Smithy. Then it's Tibbs, as there's two cars in the background going side by side. That, I think, was Bryn. It is, an X-Fate Silent, who's a lap down at the moment. Oh, Tibbs!
And Smithy had a little bump. Oh, well, it was not a little. Smithy was a bit wide, and it's a difficult one to choose who was at fault.
Well, Tibbs
But
in
I
the
think
wall.
Tibbs has a big damage.
Yeah, he's got some major damage here, so Tibbs has got to try and get that one going once again as AK Fix still stationary. He's got to hope that he gets out the pits, otherwise that will be classed as a retirement, and it'll be a quali ban for race 2 next week. Right, so the lead is this. It's Max.
McLaren coat.
It is another McLaren. It's Max Mulder who leads, 4.9 seconds clear of Mordecai, who's catching him. Daz Automatic third, 4.5 behind him. Hypertech is 5th place, but he's got Argent trying to gain on him. He's trying to lap Louis Allen, but Louis Allen's clearly got pace, that he's trying to unlap himself here. And Hypertech actually runs into the gravel a little bit. Good evening to Peaceful Stepdad. Argent then is the next car to pass, to lap Louis Allen, but also to pass Hypertech. This is the closest battle on track as Louis Allen slows down to let Argent go through. And Argent has to go over the curve there as Louis Allen probably slowed down in the worst place and is now trying to come back past Argent.
And Mordecai started to close up to Max Mulder, yeah.
Yeah, he has. He's brought that gap down to
now
3.5
only 3.5.
seconds. So Mordecai
Yes.
clearly charging here. Just seen on the Discord in the Pro-Am chat event page, 7 minutes damage AKA Fix had in the pits as Tibbs is now in.
My
So
God.
Tibbs is going to go get passed by a few of these drivers. And wow, that is a big bit of damage for AKA Fix.
Didn't even know you can have that much, and now he started, so it
I've
wasn't
had
planning
5
to retire.
minutes. I've had 5 minutes damage.
Wow.
So yeah, as Fix is now back out on track, so he's going once again. But what a big bit of damage that is. Right, Argent, the closest car to another one on track, and it's Hypertech, who has been a bit unfortunate in recent races, but he's now sitting P4 with Louis Allen. Clearly has pace, but had to do that early pit stop. The pit window for the leaders opens up in the next 3 seconds, and Max Mulder out front, Ben, has pulled that gap open to 4.2 seconds once more.
Yeah, Max maybe started to feel a bit of pressure.
Right, keep your eyes on the timing screen as they come through Sector 1. Does X-Fate get past Tibbs? Yes, he does, which means does Sekulovic get past Tibbs? No, Sekulovic is in the pit lane. He will be the first man to complete his pit stop, as I believe PN will, to complete their pit stops under the pit window. So we keep our eyes on who else is going to come into the pits. Not sure who else is near the pit lane at the minute. The first car near the pit lane now is that of Max Mulder, as Argent was a little wide there and on the grass, but he's kept it out of the wall. So Max Mulder, he's going to stay out. Yeah, what about Mordecai?
He's staying at 2.
Daz as well. Looks
So
like
has
he's got...
Daz.
Yeah, Daz got damage
Yeah.
to his car, but that's a surprise that he stayed out.
Oh,
Hypertech. Is he going to pit? No, he doesn't. Argent does, as does Louis Allen. What about Noser now as they come through? Behind Noser is X-Fate Silent. Noser straight into the box. What about X-Fate? He carries on his way. Then I believe it's AKA Fix who's going to carry on. Then it is Smithy who stays out on track as well. DJ Phil and Smokey Devil. I wonder if Smokey comes in. DJ Phil is. Smokey stays out on track. What about Bryn? He looks like he's got a bit of damage. Bryn stays out on track as well at the moment. So Sooty Apex carries on, as does Smoky Devil and AKA Fix. But it's Max Mulder from Mordecai, 4.5 seconds to gap, although Max Mulder had a bit of a wiggle. Daz has actually pulled a couple of tenths back on Mordecai in the first sector, Ben.
Yeah, so Max started to speed up a bit.
Right, Sekulovic, first man to have completed his pit stop, and out the pits he comes. Tibbs, who was already in the pits, has to pit again. So what a shame for him. So we keep our eyes on everybody's pit times going green. But here comes Sekulovic. Does he get pit exit right there? No, he doesn't. So that could be 2 he needs to look at now for Sekulovic. What about Louis Allen? PM Motorsport as well has been dropped. He's just leaving the pits now. So Louis Allen, Sekulovic, who was out ahead of PM Motorsport coming out of the pits. It was nobody ahead of PM Motorsport. Ignore me. So Louis Allen and PM Motorsport. So let's check PM. I imagine PM's going to get this absolutely spot on. Indeed he does, as does Louis Allen. So no dramas with them two then on the pit exit at the moment. There's nobody else really coming in the pits. Argent, Noza and DJ Phil still stationary. And now Argent gets released. But the gap out front between Max, Mordecai and Daz pretty much staying around that 4-second mark between all three of them.
Yeah, they both started pushing, so a few laps ago Mordecai started to gain
Yeah.
a little bit of time on him, but now they're staying at 4.5, and as I was about to say that it's now clear 4 seconds.
As out comes Argent and Noza. Noza comes out just ahead of AK Fix, and they got their pit entry fine. DJ Phil's now on pit exit as Bryn comes in for his stop. 6.5 minutes left of this pit window. Then a lot of drivers still yet to pit, but it's only a 1.5 minute lap, so you can do a few laps while the pit window is still open. As here comes DJ Phil, who is very, very slow on pit exit. Not sure why. He doesn't cross the line, though. And Sekulovic manages to unlap himself yet again. Who's coming to the back part of the track? That is car 95 of Louis Allen, who's already pitted. So Max Mulder comes into the pits. He's pulled the trigger. Mordecai stays out. He's going to lead this race for the time being. Daz as well. He's going to get himself into the pits. He could be in for a long stop, having that damage to his car if he chooses to repair it. Hypertech has Sooty Apex in front of him. Sooty's got to pit as well, let's not forget. And Hypertech stays on his way. What about X-Fate Silent? Did he just dive into the pit lane there? Indeed he did. So he's in for his stop. Smithy then, as the cameraman fails to pick Smithy up at the moment. Smithy's there. Smoky Devil just in front. Does Smoky go into the pits? Smithy's got 2 Smoky pits now. What about AKA Fix? He's going to come in for his stop. So drivers now starting to come in. Bryn's obviously repairing damage. Sooty and Tibbs as well now comes in. So we await somebody to go green here in the pit lane. And it is that of Bryn. So Bryn is now away.
And if Mordecai wants to do an overcut, he has to push these laps.
Yeah. Really has got to push.
Pace.
He's got to worry. He's got to try and focus on the overcut from Max Mulder, but he's got to worry the undercut from Daz Automatic. Right, out comes Bryn now, staying within the white line. Bryn stays within it absolutely fine. Max is now in. Tibbs is coming down pit lane as well. Good evening to Fury's granddad in the chat. Smithy's back up to 3rd at the moment. Here comes Max Mulder now, as Daz Automatic is now green, but I think Daz is a bit further than 8 seconds behind Max Mulder at the moment. So Daz actually came back at it. Daz is out for the limiter.
Max was on the pit exit line quite badly.
I think we just need to get to see that one. Here comes Daz. And that seemed okay. Who's behind Daz, who's coming out the pits? Not quite sure. Nobody else yet, as Mordecai is now in. Smoky Devil and AKA Fix are actually on the way, so it's them two.
And Max Mulder has a clear track ahead of him, so
yeah, that's important really for Max to get some good laps
it's
in.
important for him, and Mordecai is in the pits.
And to pull away. Right. AKA Fix absolutely fine. Smoky Devil and Tibbs absolutely fine. So Hypertech and Mordecai in the pits now. Right, Smithy in as well. So it is just Sooty Apex. Where is Sooty on the track? He's gone for another lap. He's still got time to pit here, actually, as Sooty. So Max Mulder Where is he? He's at the hairpin as Mordecai still in the box. Max Mulder now is coming towards the final chicane as Mordecai is yet to go green. When that goes green, you know Mordecai's away. Has Mordecai done enough on his outlaps here? Not only to try and get closer to Max Mulder, but to stay 4 seconds clear of Daz Automatic. Mordecai goes green. He starts to move away now as Daz is in the final chicane. So this is going to be interesting and close. Let's go to Mordecai, though. Sorry, that's Max Mulder as Bryn went deep. Let's go to Mordecai. As out the pits he comes. There's Max Mulder just in front of him. Where is Daz Automatic? Does he get pit exit right? He gets it absolutely bang on. Daz, nowhere to be seen in the background. So job done for Mordecai. He's managed to keep that as it was. And a good bit of run there for him. Hypertech was P4 when he pitted. He comes out the pits. No problem with his stop. What about Smithy now as he comes out the pit lane? Noser on the back of Argent. We'll catch you with that battle in a minute as the leaderboard finally starts to update itself. I imagine as Daz comes through the sector time, he goes into 3rd place. And a few drivers, a couple of laps down here. But for Smithy then, he's coming out the pitch just as Smoky Devil goes through. Where's his teammate? I think Smithy's jumped Argent here. Smithy gets pit exit absolutely right. I think Smithy's P5 at the moment. Let's see as he comes through. Sutty's gone on to another lap. So it's Max from Mordecai at the moment. They all coming round to Sector 2. That gap's 4.6. So pretty much as it was. Bryn Spanny's in the middle of the road. He rolled, he's rolled out the way. Daz has lost a bit of time. Hypertex P4. Smithy is, as he goes through the first sector now. Smithy's P5 at the minute. So he's had a great pit stop.
He had a great strategy, yeah. Great strategy call for Smithy. Oh.
Bryn gets back going. He's still ahead of X-Fate, I believe. No, X-Fate may have just got past him, but Bryn up in P10. He can still do a few bits here. Sutty Apex is the man we've got to keep our eyes on because he's yet to pit. And we imagine he's going to pit this lap. Has Bryn got a puncher possibly? Because he's very slow at the moment. Sutty in. Oh, too quick! And he's hit the wall! I think Bryn's got a puncher. I think Bryn's got a front right puncher.
Oh.
Because he's in and he's very slow. Yeah, it does look like he has. Noser has got past Argent. Argent's trying to fight back. He's got 2 wheels on the grass. That's not going to work around there. Somehow gets it slowed down and stopped and turned in. And Noser goes a little deep at the chicane. And that puts Argent up another position.
He has to give back the position, I believe.
So did Argent tap him wide?
I didn't see that as precisely.
Right, Sutty in, Bryn in. Argent still behind Noser, gap out front 5.3 seconds. Then gap back to Daz is 4.4, so Daz is actually coming on the back of Mordecai.
Yeah, Mordecai started to lose a bit to Max.
The Argent Noser battle's the closest battle on the track at the minute, Ben.
Yeah, and it was an interesting one at the chicane. Oh, and Noser jumps a bit.
Yeah, that's give Argent the run up and over the hill. They come. Argent's going to look the long way around the outside. Does he get it done? He does get it done. Stop it on the brakes into the second chicane. Noser's got to yield that 'cause he's on the outside. And that puts Argent up another position. Pit window is closed. Sutty was in before the pit window shut. He's now just been released. So Sutty now goes on his way. Bryn can still get out there and score some decent points. Here comes Sutty. So let's keep an eye on his pit exit now. Not the race for Sutty Apex here in this one, Ben.
Yeah, and so everybody cleared the pit stops, and nobody's got a stop-go penalty for speeding.
Yeah,
So
good
it's a
to see.
positive.
I mean,
It's a
Sutty
positive
bounced off.
thing.
Yeah, Sutty
Yeah.
bounced off the wall, so it was hard for him to get a stop-go penalty. As Bryn now comes back out onto the track, and oh, you see there with Bryn, comes back out the pits onto the track and right in front of, I believe, Exit Tibbs. Now that could have been for position there, as it could have been. It's not with AKA fix. So Bryn back out in 14th place at the minute. Noser's lost out to Argent a little bit. Mordecai's brought the gap down to Max. Daz is trying to catch on the back. Hypertech still P4. Smithy, 2.9 seconds clear of his teammate with just under 9 minutes left. Smithy's back up into 5th place and driving brilliantly here. Where's DJ Phil? He's a lap down and he's actually now just been lapped by Max Mulder again. So for DJ Phil at the moment, he's a long way behind Smithy. Smithy's at the second chicane. DJ Phil has just gone through turn 1. So even if Argent and Nosa get past Smithy here, as Argent, Smithy's teammates on the back of him, Smithy could be a lowest to P7. That's not bad for Smithy. I'm sure he'll take that.
Yeah. Oh, and there's a McLaren.
Yeah, that is AKA
Fix.
Fix.
Yeah, I think he was unlapped. Yeah, he tried to move off the way. Of course, at this narrow track, it's difficult to move out of the way.
It is.
With
It
the
is
buffer
indeed.
rules. Yeah.
Right, Smithy has his teammate all over the back of him. What does Smithy do? Does he let his teammate go, or is he going to fight him hard here? Smithy driving a fantastic race. At the moment in P5, he's got his teammate Argent and Nosa within 2 seconds of him. And down the straight they come now. Bryn 6 seconds off the back of Tibbs. Can he regain that time? As Daz gets the gap under 4 seconds. Argent runs a little too much curve at turn 1. And that's going to give Smithy a bit of breathing space, but put Nosa on the back of Smithy. Slides into turn 2. Just noticed here though, Ben, Daz has the gap under 4 seconds with 7.5 minutes remaining. Oh, he doesn't now. What has happened actually?
No, dot 9 and he has damage on the front. I don't know if he had a moment on his own or...
Evening to
But he has damage
Wolfinator.
at the front.
He's got a lot of damage at the front. Well,
Yeah.
is it just going to be a P3 for Daz in this one? Good evening to Wolfinator. Much damage in this race. Just a little bit, Wolfie, just a little bit. Argent on the back of his
Just a
teammate
bit,
now.
really.
Down towards the second chicane. Can't get the move done now. Is Argent getting held up here a little bit by his teammate of Smithy?
It doesn't look like that team strategy called in, because Smithy is a bit rough on Argent. But
he
now
is
that's
indeed.
Argent through.
Yeah, he's let Argent
I see
through.
it.
As Argent nearly went a little deep. Now Nosa's going to try and have a look on Smithy as they flick up the Elf advertising board, and Nosa now can't get past Smithy at the moment. He's now got to sit and wait, and he's going to try and go the long way around. But this for Argent could Smithy could help Argent here by keeping Nosa behind him. It'll allow Argent to pull away. Down to start, lap 14 then. 6 minutes left in this race. Nosa looks left and looks right on Smithy. Can't get the move done. Good result for Smithy, even if he gets P7 in this one. I'm sure he'll take it.
And of course for team strategy, the best he can do is hold up Nosa to protect Argent.
Yeah, indeed. And he's doing a cracking
And
job
he
of this
doing
so
it,
far.
yeah.
He's doing a brilliant job at the moment of holding Argent up. And we'll see what he can do as this race goes on then. But Smithy at the moment doing exactly what he needs to do.
And Smithy managed to get a better exit,
Yeah,
so Nosa a bit.
and he is putting pressure on Nosa to get past him. And Smithy doing all he can with 5 minutes left in the
But
race.
Smithy is a bit wide.
Yes, little wiggle. Nosa's got the nose up the inside. Who's going to back out of this? Smithy runs a little wide. Nosa gets through. Job
He's
done.
ahead. Let's see if Smithy fights back. No,
Nah.
he does not.
He's got no fight back there. I think PN's gone off into the gravel to allow the leaders to come through. I believe he has. Yep, there he is as he rejoins to the track now. Disastrous night for some of these drivers. X-Fate Silent has actually got past DJ Phil, so DJ Phil's now down in ninth, while X-Fate is coming down towards the second chicane. Smithy's at the final chicane, and with 4 minutes left, I think X-Fate has got this... I think Smithy, sorry, has got this job done. DJ Phil behind him. PN a lap down to Phil. Sakulovic gaining on the back of PN here as well, so that could put PN 11th. Louis Allen, championship leader, down in 12th, but really, when you look at the championship standings and you look at where they are, Louis Allen's in 12th, Sakulovic is 11th, Tibbs is down in 14th, Nosa's the only one who's up there in 6th, because Sooty Apex as well is down in 13th place, so really, you know, the championship rivals at the moment, bar Nosa, all down the order. So this really working in Nosa's favour at the minute then.
Yeah, it looks like. Let's see if he can catch Argent.
And the
He's
one thing,
a bit far away, so
the one
so
thing to
Smith
keep
is,
an eye on as
strategy
well
worked.
here. Sorry, the one thing to keep an eye on, Ben, is Max Mulder wins this, that will keep up the McLaren chance of a win. We have lost a driver, and I believe we've lost Sekulovic there.
Oh.
Yes, Sekulovic is gone now. He has got time to get back in to the lobby and try and get himself them extra positions, or try and get himself back in this race to score points. Otherwise, that will go down as 0 points for not finishing the race. Even if it's a disconnection, what that'll mean is disconnection. He won't get the quali ban, but he'll still score no points. So for one of the guys who's really quick in the moment and pushing for this championship lead, it is a disaster for him. Well, let's keep our eyes on what's going to happen here then. So that puts Sutty, Louis Allen and Tibbs up an extra place. Sekulovic needs to get in. In terms of battles on track, nobody's really gaining on anybody. There's Hypertech with Smokey behind him. But that for the championship takes a turn then. Ben?
So I think Mordecai started gaining a little bit again on Max.
Yeah.
But it's still almost 5 seconds, so what happened?
Hypertech's gone deep at the hairpin, which has allowed Smokey Devil to unlap himself. So that is Smokey and Exit Tibbs who have unlapped themselves from Hypertech. But just a little deep into the hairpin. Gap started to spread out a little bit. Sutty's 5 seconds behind Louis Allen here. Louis Allen looks like he's got a bit of damage on his Honda on that right-hand side, possibly on the rear as well. So we'll have to keep our eyes on that.
And Mordecai gained another 2 tenths, so he started pushing. And another 4 tenths.
Yeah, he's really pushing at the moment, but has he left it just a little bit too late? Max Mulder currently doing the work. Louis Allen's on the back of AKA Fix as Fix lets him through to lap himself. And Sutty's in the background, so Sutty can start to see Louis Allen. Max Mulder, though, is about to start the final lap of the race. And there, look in the background, is Mordecai. So Max, remember last time he led a lap? He span at the very end, and it cost him the race win at Spa. Gap's down to 3.8. Max Mulder has got to keep going here, as Sekulovic is back in the lobby. Now, he won't get to start the race, so I've just asked in the admin, does he get points for where he'll cross the line, which should be 16th place? Because he's laps ahead of AKA Fix. But at the minute, it's Max Mulder who looks like he's going to win this race.
So it could be redemption day after what happened in Spa with him. I remember it.
Yeah, he span up El Rouge, if you remember. And it cost him the time. Right, Max Mulder now.
Ooh, but Mordecai gained a lot. Almost a second.
Yeah. Is it too late, though? 11 seconds left in this race. And for Mordecai, he's just got to make sure Max just has to make sure he doesn't make a mistake. And do you think Spa's in the back of Max's thoughts here to make sure he doesn't make them same mistakes?
And it's now only just 2.5 seconds, so yeah,
really being
started
cautious.
Pushing really hard, but
too late.
Or Max is being cautious because PTSD kicked in or something if it's fast.
Well, either way, it's going to be a race win, first race win of the season for Max, and it's going to be back-to-back race wins for the McLaren team. It's going to be Mordecai to get P2. We just await Daz now, as X-Fate Silent does well to get back up to 8th after his earlier pit stop. Daz Automatic, though, is going to be P3. Hypertech a bit further back for P4. Louis Allen has crossed the line for 11th place. Sutty Apex got close. He crosses the line for P12. DJ Phil has crossed the line for P9.
So that's X-Fate.
AK Fix crosses it for 17th. Now we're going to put him down as 17th for the time being. X-Fate P8. Here comes Hypertech then, as cars in front of him. That is Smokey Devil. But let's get Hypertech done first, who crosses line for a best result to P4. P5 we'll wait for Argent. So, Smoky Devil finished P15. Exit Tibbs finished in 13th place. And we're just awaiting other cars to come to line. Here comes Argent though. And for Argy Bargy, it is going to be a P5. Good result for him. For Noza, it is only going to be P6 at the end of this one. Not a bad result for Noza. Smithy though, what a drive from Smithy. Hangs on in there for a P7. Bryn gets to the line for 14th place. But Smithy here, P7, what a drive from him. And then we're just awaiting PN Motorsport, who's going to cross the line for P10. And that then will be the end of race 1. And what a dramatic race it was. Guys, girls, go and get some refreshments. Grab yourself a quick drink, go to the toilet. We'll be back in a few moments' time.
Getting hype when I aim up, elevating that game up, stepping up to the competition. Only first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. Watch me elevate. I was born to win, watch me elevate. I was born to win, watch me elevate. All in when I show up, whole place about to blow up. Superior to that competition. I'm in first place, yeah, that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. Watch me elevate. I was born to win, watch me elevate. I was born to win, watch me elevate.
Broken dreams in my pocket. Golden thing round my neck like a locket. Carve your name in my mind, cause you caught it. You caught it. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you know it. Me under the street light at the end so I could show you. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you're glowing. Me under the mezzanine just so that I could show you. You're golden. Hey, you're golden. You're golden. Hey, you're golden. Golden. hand in the darkness. Summer heat, bodies lay on the carpet. Eye to eye, glistening, no, I saw it. I saw it. You're golden, golden, honestly you know it. Me under the street light at the end so I could show you. You're golden, golden, honestly you glow it. Me under the mezzanine just so that I could show you. You're golden. Hey, you're golden. You're golden. You're golden. Golden. You're golden. Yeah, you're golden. You know it. Yeah, you're golden. Golden. Golden, golden, honestly you know it. Me under the street or at the end so I could show you. Golden, golden, honestly you know it. Me under the golden. Hey, you're golden. Golden. You're golden. Golden.
Getting hype when I aim up. Elevating that game up. Stepping up to the competition. Only first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave. Eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate.
Come back then to SimPlay Motorsport as we get ready to go here in the next race, or the next qualifying session, should I say, as I'm about to sneeze again. Excuse me. Apologies. Right. Welcome back. We're getting ready for qualifying. Car 54 of X-Mate is the first car out on track. And, well, what an exciting, chaotic, crazy first race that was.
It was the craziest, I think, this season yet.
I think I have to agree with you there,
Even
yes.
poor Ricciardo in the rain wasn't that bad.
Yes. A lot of cars off, a lot of cars spinning all over the place. Max Mulder, don't forget, has a qualifying ban for this one. So he cannot qualify. He's down in 17th place. That is where he will start. Right. So then, not the best of nights for Max Mulder. Oh, I say not the best nights. He's won the first race. He's now got to come from the back of the grid in this second race. But everybody else can qualify. Still a lot of drivers sat in the pit lane. Now, the bonus is it is a short lap, so drivers can wait to get it done and can wait to get going. So then, the question is, Ben, who's your tip for pole position?
X-Weight was fast in free practice, so I would keep an eye on him. But also the McLarens.
Yeah, Sekulovic as well, who got disconnected. He did get 16th place in the end, so we felt that that was only fair. Right, championship standings. 332 drivers' points left up for grabs, and it is still Louis Allen who leads the way and extends his gap by 2 points from exit Tibbs. That gap is now 8 points. Sekulovic is now 13 behind with Noza, 18 behind, so he's brought himself in it. Monkey Boy still P5 with Sutty 1 point behind him. Argent moves up to 7th on 88, 3 ahead of PM Motorsport. Mordecai, with that second place, moves himself into P9. X-Fate Silent goes into 10th with Daz moving up to 11th, tied with Max Mulder, a point behind X-Fate. They're a point ahead of Smoky Devil, 13th. Bryn down in 14th place, a point ahead of Hypertech. DJ Phil 7 points behind him in 16th. Smithy only a point behind DJ Phil in 17th place with AKA Fix. 18th Self-Softened Demus Hockey not here tonight to score. In terms of the constructors, it's Titan Oro Racing who lead the way, 8 points clear of SRL Pink McLaren, with Dynaco Racing 17 points behind. MBR up to 4th, back to front in 5th place. Good points for them as they both jump East-West Motorsport. East-West Motorsport, sorry, and MC Motorsport bringing up the rear. In terms of the manufacturers, it's McLaren on 904 points, with Bentley on 556, Ferrari on 376, Porsche 336, Aston Martin 301, Honda 271, Audi 261, Lexus 221, Mercedes 73, BMW 71, Nissan 48 and Lamborghini 13. So all still to play for, all still to see what we can do. As we say, good evening to Kieran Argent. Sorry for lap 1. Phil Smithy, that was lucky P7. I don't think I was lucky from you, Smith. I think I was very well done. You was out the chaos here. And the other guy in the chat, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that name. I wish Hypertech good luck there. Well, we all wish Hypertech good luck. He's had a good start to the race. As X-Fate Silent currently sets the fastest lap from exit Tibbs. Next driver's coming to cross line, as we have actually this week, chat. We can actually see the light blue dots this week, so it's fantastic. Next car on a valid lap is that of Daz Automatic. So let's see what Daz can do, as he is on a flying lap here at the moment. Behind him is Sekulovic as well on a valid lap time. Smoky Devil and DJ Phil both in the pit lane when they can both qualify in this race. That is very interesting.
Yeah, and it looks like for the first laps the track slowed down a bit. So it's not as Sakura sets at 130. We have wind, and we didn't have wind.
Yeah, we've got 10 kilometres of wind, as you can see, blowing into the car at the moment. So pushing them through these corners at the moment. Now sort of coming across their right-hand side. So, sorry, coming across left to right. And now it's a headwind. So, yeah, we've got a bit more wind that's picked up. But crucially as well, Ben, is the track temperature has gone up to 22 degrees.
Yeah, so we should have more grip, but with the wind, it's another tricky one, so it looks like the time's a bit slower than it was in free practice.
Oh, it does indeed. So the
Wind
clearly
does affect, yeah.
Yeah, the wind, the track temperature. Right, next car on a valid lap is out of car 12. This is Sooty Apex. Where's he going to cross the line? He goes currently provisional pole. Then after that, it's car 52 of Kieran Argent, who comes across the chicane. That was AKA Fix who was off there. Did Argent just invalidate his lap? No, he didn't. Comes to set a valid lap time. Sooty currently on pole. Where does Argent go? Only P5. Car 21 of Hypertech. Next up, Tibbs is back in the pits as everybody is now out on circuit. So Tibbs in the pits at the moment, needs to get back out there if he's to set a better qualifying lap. Right, here comes Hypertech. Looks like he got a bit of a poor run out the final chicane, only goes 10th fastest. Next up, it's back to Daz Automatic. 7/10 off the pole as Sooty goes back to the pits. Daz crosses the line, no improvement. What about Skulovic, who's currently 4th fastest? Stays 4th fastest. Next up is 66 of PN Motorsport. He then has X-Fate on the back of him. So where does PN go? Only P11. X-Fate stays where he is. Next up is car 95. And that is Louis Allen. Can the Honda get on pole position? This is the biggest question. No, improves, but stays P8. Car 31 is next. That is Mordecai. P2 in the first race. And he's coming towards the line now. What will Mordecai get? 1.2 off the pace. Any improvement here? No, not at the moment. Next up, car 52. So can Argent set a better lap time?
And the gap is actually closer than I expected. So the top 6 is in 1 second.
The top 5 within half a second as well. So it's good to see this gap. Here comes Argent. Has he found any more time this time? X-Fate and Tibbs in the pits. Argent doesn't improve. What about Smithy as he crosses the line? Gets himself a lap time, goes 11th fastest. Next car is car 21. That is Hypertech again. So just as you start to see drivers cross the line, the others start pumping in time. Sooty's back out the pit. X-Fate's in the pits. Here comes Hypertech before Daz Automatic. Hypertech stays P10. What about Daz? What can he do? Bumps himself up to P2. What about Sekulovic? He bumps himself up to provisional pole and puts half a second between majority of the grid. It's Smoky Devil next on a flyer. So Sekulovic's lap time there is a real statement from him.
Yeah, we had that was the first lap time under 1 minute 30 seconds.
Smoky Devil moves into P9. Next car is car 95 of Louis Allen. Before Bryn will get to the line. Louis Allen goes P7. What about Bryn? Stays P10. Next up is Mordecai, Bryn's teammate. Needs half a second to get back ahead of Louis Allen. Needs 8/10 to dip under that 1 second mark to the leaders. Here comes Mordecai. Improves, but it's not enough. Next up is car 512. That is Noza. He goes P9 now. Right, next up, Kieran Argent once again. Right, back round to Kieran Argent once more. What can he do here? Into the final chicane. AKA Fix in the pits, not set yet, set a lap time. Smithy's in the pits as well. Here comes Dargy Bargy. Goes P5, finds 3/10 of a second. Believe next up is car... It's got a 1 on the end. Can't be Mordecai. 21. That's
21.
Hypertech, yeah, Hypertech, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad you can see. Hypertech next up then before Daz Automatic comes back around. Here comes Hypertech, improves, goes ahead of Bryn into P11. Daz improves, goes P2. Sooty was on an invalid lap, so the next one is 95 of Louis Allen again. So an interesting qualifying this, all the times bouncing up and down here.
And the gaps are really close to each other.
Yes, they are indeed, and it's fantastic to see at the moment as these gaps are very, very close. And we'll see what they can do. Here comes Louis Allen. Oh, wow! Into P2 for Louis Allen! What a lap time. 8/10 separate the top 7. That is a fantastic lap time. Sekulovic has pitted. Here comes Mordecai. He improves, goes within a second. So the top 8 within a second now. The track is getting quicker. The wind has died down 1 kilometre. No lap time there for Noza. DJ Phil goes P13. Who's next? It's Argent once again. So lap time starting to improve for drivers here.
And looks like AK Fix is on a valid lap this time. Oh no, he does not. Sorry.
No improvement for Argent. Tibbs
AK
next up.
AK Fix needs a valid lap.
He does need a valid lap. Tibbs to the line. No improvement for him. Next up is 54. That is
X-Fate.
X-Fate. Currently P5 in his Mercedes-Benz. What can he do? At the moment, had good pace in free practice. And goes P1. 0.4 of a second quicker than Sekulovic. Here comes Sutty Apex now, within a second of the leader. Sutty improves to go P3 within half a second. The track is getting quicker out there, Ben. And we are seeing these drivers start to improve their lap times.
So that just shows how the wind is only 9 km/h now, so how a big impact does it have, so the track is improving.
Yeah, it really is. Noza comes through the hairpin. The cameraman will pick him up in a moment. Sekulovic and Bryn on an invalid lap behind. Then it's DJ Phil. So Noza, the next man on a valid lap time, needs to find 0.6 of a second to get himself ahead of Smokey Devil. He's currently 2.5 off the pace. And where's this going to put him as the track starts to get quicker? Noza improves to P9, so finds a little bit more than 0.6 of a second. DJ Phil needs 1.2 to get himself ahead of Bryn. What's he going to find as he crosses the line? No time for him there. Next up is AKA Fix, and he's got X-Fate silent, the current pole sitter, right on the back of him.
And AKA Fix looks like finally has a valid lap.
Yeah, hopefully so. Just carry on that. Yeah, he does.
A little fight between X-Fate, yeah.
I'm surprised X-Fate on this lap hasn't bailed and sort of, let AKA Fix just get in front and keep going here. He's kept it going. So AKA Fix to the line. Any lap time? P13. X-Fate doesn't improve. Next car is Sutty. Needs just under a 10th to go ahead of Sekulovic. What does he find? He doesn't find anything there. And the next car will be that of Noza again, coming through the second chicane, and he's got Sekulovic gaining on the back of him. So Sekulovic here starting to get himself in a little bit of traffic maybe. Right, Sekulovic. Sutty's pitted, X-Fate's pitted, Mordecai's pitted, Smokey's pitted, Smithy's in the pits, Max can't qualify. These drivers can still get out to do one more lap. Tibbs looks like he's backed out of that one. He's got to be careful on slowing down. Sekulovic now backs out of it. So here comes Noza. 1.8, needs 0.4 to get himself ahead of Mordecai. What can Noza do here then? He comes to the line now. No improvement. What about Bryn? Have we seen the best of these track conditions in qualifying? Tibbs will start. He possibly get 2 more in. Bryn, no improvement there.
Bryn
Car behind.
He had a little improvement.
Slight improvement, yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, a slight.
DJ Phil goes ahead of AKA Fix. Next car, Daz Automatic. On the back of AKA Fix, who's invalidated his lap time. So Daz will be hoping that he either moves out the way or gets a move on with this. And here comes AKA Fix, who moves out his way now. So gives Daz a little bit of slipstream. Moves out the way. Sutty, X-Fate, Smokey, Smithy are all done for qualifying. They will not get another run in. Daz will get one more chance here. And here he comes. He's bounced off the pit wall. He's bounced off the pit wall, so that's going to give him huge damage. And I can't see him improving on P5. So then, Argent, what can you do now?
And I would keep an eye on Sekulovic because he's on a valid lap.
Argent.
He's fighting for pole position.
He is indeed, so we'll drop back to him in a moment. It's Noza first, so Argent gets one last lap in. Doesn't improve that time though. Here comes Noza before Sekulovic. These will all get one more lap in here as well. So Noza to the line. Can he improve on his 1.8? No, he can't. What about Sekulovic? He improves but doesn't climb up the leaderboard. What about Exit Tibbs? He doesn't improve. What about Bryn? Improves but stays P10. Next up is DJ Phil. Any improvement for him then? No. Hypertech now. Sutty's in the pit, so he can't improve. Daz has pitted. Mordecai's pitted. Hypertech stays 11th. So the last man, or the next man on a lap, is that of Louis Allen, and I don't think he's going to get another lap in from here. Tibbs has done as well. What a qualifying. What a qualifying this is.
It's a really close qualifying, yes.
Oh, Louis gone deep. Louis gone deep. That's probably put to bed that. Yeah, he's invalidated his lap time, so next man to finish qualifying will be Argent here.
About that, I think we can say that X8 has a safe pole position, because Louis Allen went deep, as you said, and Sekulovic stuck behind Noza.
Yeah, and it looks like that the track is just...
Noza just went straight.
There we go. Noza's still on a valid lap time here, though.
X8.
Here comes Argent, doesn't improve. Noza's still on a valid lap. This is going to be a tough race to call, this is, because at the moment, everybody's starting to... Yeah, it's really starting to finish the lap times. Right, Noza to the line. Can he improve? No. So time's just not improving here for drivers at the moment. PN needs a second to improve and get ahead of Smithy. Can he get the job done? No, yes, he can. What about Bryn? Bryn improves his time, but stays P12 ultimately there, sir. It is going to be a pole position for X-Fate Silent. Good qualifying for him. And what about that? Sutty Apex will line up P3. Daz down in P5. Louis Allen in P4. Good qualifying for that team. Tibbs down in 7th at the moment. It's a shame for him. Sekulovic, 3 poles to his name this season. Well, not this time. That has been stopped. Mordecai, 2nd place in the race. Only 8th for this one. X-Fate, his first pole of the season. Hypertech. Where did he qualify? 11th place. Argent, he got himself 6th. Smithy down in 16th. Smoky Devil was 10th. And Noza then crossed the line P9. So that then is qualifying done. Ben, your tip for the race win?
I'll go with X8. I think he has the pace with that Mercedes.
Yeah. I'm going to be different. I'm going to go Louis Allen. Well, for Sekulovic, obviously all these results are preliminary until drivers put incidents in, or stewards, obviously Max under investigation for the cut pit entry, or pit exit. So we'll see what happens up. But at the minute, if a McLaren wins this race now, they will still need 2 race wins tomorrow night to get its 50th race win as a manufacturer here at SimPlay Motorsport. That, though, for X-Fate, gives Mercedes its 87th pole position at SimPlay Motorsport, and is still 26 clear of Lamborghini in 2nd place. So Mercedes flying on that stat at the moment. They are, though, being caught by Porsche in terms of podiums. Porsche are only 32 behind them in podiums, and there's a lot more Porsches than Mercedes this year, so we'll see what happens there. But who will win this race? So I'm going Louis Allen, you're going X-Fate, the chat reckons Sekulovic. So we'll see what happens as we get away now. And what has happened to Sekulovic? He's not gone 2nd place. He hasn't moved, in fact. So Sekulovic needs to get back into 2nd place here.
I hope he doesn't have that glitch.
No, there we go. He's going now.
Oh,
yep.
He's moving.
Yeah. He's back in 2nd. So the grid order is as it should be. Right. Don't forget, tomorrow night, pro night. Myself and Ben will be on the track. Nexus is Ben, and Matt Imovic is myself. We'll be on the track in a Bentley and an Audi to see what we can do around Zolder. Join Dan Davis, aka Unorthodox or PM Motorsport, in the chat tomorrow night for that one. As Overtaker says in the chat, we'll try to get McLaren to its 50th tomorrow. That, Overtaker, is provided that results stand. Let's not forget, these are all provisional results. So if the results don't stand, it might not get its 50th. So we'll have to wait and see. But, you know, let's wait.
They sure will have that 50th mark.
Next week. Yeah.
No, this season.
Oh, this season,
That's
definitely.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's for sure, definitely. McLaren is strong.
Don't forget, also, Honda need 3 podiums to get their 50th podium. Argent is 1 podium away from 50. And Honda, in race 1 tomorrow, so whether it's Mike or Plava, will get its 50th race start Sorry, it's 250th race start at SimPlay Motorsport tomorrow night. I myself need 2 podiums for 100, and Gary needs 1 pole for 25. That could take Gary some time, that could. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Right. Going to be an interesting one, this.
Well, after race 1, especially with the start, it will be an interesting race too. Let's hope for not carnage.
Yeah. Let's hope.
That was another example that I couldn't even follow. There were so many bumps
the,
and crashes.
the start of the race was very hard to keep up to date with, wasn't it? On who was where and who did what and what happened here, what happened there. But this is all about the drivers getting the tyres and brakes in the right window, making sure they're not running the wrong engine map.
Yeah, and not the wrong tire temperatures and
not the wrong temperatures, not the wrong tyres. Track temperatures drop back down to 20, I've noticed, and crucially as well, the wind has dropped to only 3 kilometres. Yeah. So this all a big factor.
Is still 15.
Yeah, that's not really changed a lot, has it? But the sun's still shining. It's a bit of light cloud, so we've still got a bit of light cloud here for this 30-minute race. And that's how it looks like it's going to be for the next half an hour, which is great to see. You know what this means, don't you? We're probably going to get the rain tomorrow night. That 10% chance of rain we're probably going to get tomorrow night. Yeah. Hopefully not. Hopefully it stays dry. Right, they all come into the final chicane now. Should be going double file, as X-Fate will lead the pack across the line. And for round 8 this season, we are about to go green here at Zolder for the final time in Pro-Am. Long wait to the start line. Race start initialised. We are green and go, and it's a little earlier than what it was in Am yesterday, but green and go, it's a good start. Everybody's bunched up towards turn 1, and look at the traffic all bunched up. Sutti's already got ahead of Sekulovic and has a nose up the inside into turn 2 on X-Fate here. Is Sutti going to lead into turn 2? X-Fate's gone very deep. Sutti up the inside, and he does lead. Coming through the next bend of 3 towards turn 4, Sutti leads from X-Fate. Wow. Then it's Daz Automatic from 5th to 3rd. What has happened to Sekulovic? He's way down the pack. Right, as they all come.
But what a start Sutti had.
Great start. So Sutti, X-Fate, Daz, Tibbs, Noza, Louis Allen. Smithy's back up to 7th from the back of the grid. Well done, Smithy. Hypertech. Then Smoky Devil. Then it's PN Motorsport. Then it's DJ Phil Green. You see there behind his teammate PN as he comes through the chicane. That is Sekulovic, who's gone straight on. Max Mulder from last is up to 12th. Argent's 13th. Sekulovic rejoins. Oh, that could have been a bit of an unsafe rejoin there. I wonder if AKA Fix will put that in. Fix, then Bryn, then Mordecai down in last. So that team MBR Racing not having the best of starts to this race. But already it's a lot cleaner than last time. But what happened to Sekulovic is the big question.
I didn't see it either.
Right, Sutti to end lap 1 in the lead as we tumble down the order here. Louis Allen having a look, he's tapped Noser. Big whack there, and it's tapped Noser. That surely will have to go in from Noser there. Louis Allen has gone straight past Smoky Devil, trying to put pressure on Smithy. He's got Hypertech behind him, as well as PM Motorsport. Mordecai straight into the pits. Yeah. Here goes Smoky up the inside.
And then teleported.
Right. So he's got to get back out to score points. That, though, is Smoky up ahead of Smithy. So Smoky moves into 7th place here. Right. Interesting to see now. Smithy under pressure from Hypertech. Sutti's gapped X-Fate by a second already in this first lap. Dad's coming under pressure from Tibbs. Although we're watching Smithy and Hypertech at the moment come through towards the first chicane. There's Smoky. Hypertech looks to the inside. They've got PN on the back of him as well. Argent trying to get ahead of DJ Phil. Max Mulder's coming. There's Sekulovic, and Bryn now is ahead of AKA Fix as well. PN actually having a look, trying to have a look around the outside of Hypertech. Can't get it done. And as you see, DJ Phil in the background has got Argent up the inside, and Argent's looked up the inside and gets that move done on DJ Phil. Great move from Argent. Now Phil's coming under pressure from Max Mulder, who looks like he's got a bit of damage to the front of his McLaren. And at the moment, good racing so far in Pro-Am at the start of this second race. Sekulovic well off the back of these, as is Brin and aka Fix, but out front it's Sutty, a second clear of X-Fate. Daz has got Tibbs on the back of him, two McLarens, Noser and Louis Allen side by side. They make more contact, Noser this time, Louis Allen this time is the one who goes round. Smokey gets through and Louis Allen gets going, but does lose out to Smithy, Hypertech and probably PM Motorsport. Yes, he does. What about Argent? I don't think he's going to lose out to Argent. In fact, he doesn't lose out to PN here, although PN's got to look into turn one. Oh, he's hit the wall! PN's hit the wall!
Oh no. So I was about to say that Smithy had a really great start yet again. He's already up there.
Indeed he has. Sekulovic now looking up the inside of DJ Phil into turn
Smithy,
three. And Sekulovic still not past Phil. He is now. Sekulovic, job done. Where is Smithy?
And Hypotech just jumps Smithy.
Yep, Louis Allen's going to try and
Louis
jump.
Allen is attacking.
Yeah, good defensive drive from Smithy, that. And Louis Allen has to be patient, but going back to Max Mulder, look, in fact, here comes Louis Allen. Round the outside of Smithy towards the second chicane, later on the brakes. Yep, Louis Allen. Job done. Drop back to Max Mulder. In fact, what's just happened to Sekulovic, because he's very slow. And he's lost out to DJ Phil again. He was on the back of Argent, so Sekulovic. He's got a very damaged car. DJ Phil's had a moment. That's going to allow Sekulovic to catch. Brin is in 15th, struggling as is AK Fix. Mordecai needs to get going, score points this race. Out front, though, gaps down, look. X-Fate within 0.3 of a second of Sutty Apex now. So the leaders, Ben, really on the back of each other.
Yeah, and this time we had a clear race start without any major incidents.
Yeah,
so
without any major incidents. It's been nice.
Yeah. It's a nice thing to see.
Holty in the chat says Bentley strong around here. Well, we didn't get to see how strong the Bentley was in race one, but we're seeing how strong it can be now.
Well, it's a battle for P1.
Battle for P1, battle for P3 as well. Look at Daz, he's got Tibbs all over the back of him.
Yeah.
Smokey looks like he's got Noser within a second. Hypertech trying to get past Louis Allen now as he's ran a little wide. PN has gone wide on the gravel, and here comes Max Mulder. Not just Max Mulder, but also Kieran Argent. And Kieran Argent's now going to have a look up the inside of Max Mulder into the chicane. And Kieran, does he get that one stopped? He does. They both get through fine. Max has a little wiggle and keeps hold of that place. Good driving from the pair of them two there. As Brin's now in the pits. Oh, Brin's got big damage. We've lost Mordecai from this race. So that will be a quali ban for Mordecai next week. But if he gets back in and scores points, he's fine. If he doesn't get in and score points, it'll be a retirement.
On Discord, he sent an angry gesture.
Yeah.
So something really bad happened.
So Brin's in the pit. He's got a long stop. He won't want another qualifying ban because Brin's already had a qualifying ban. Don't forget, 3 retirements in a season and you lose 25 championship points. It really hurts your championship. As X-Fate silent here, looking around the outside of Sutty Apex at turn 3. As they come to 4, he tucks back in behind. Tibbs is looking on Daz as well, the two McLaren drivers. Great battle there. Louis Allen looking up the inside of Hypertech at turn 1 and gets that job done. So battles all around here, Ben.
Yeah. And X-Fate is really, really, really close to Sutty.
Yeah, indeed he is at the moment.
So as X is Tibbs.
Yeah, looking at Tibbs in the background, we've just seen them on the back of Sutty's camera and Daz having to defend. So it's all going off here. We drop to Max Mulder, who's now on the back of Smithy. Smithy trying to hold Max up for his teammate Argent, but Sekulovic has got ahead of Argent. Sekulovic got a lot of damage. And Smithy at the minute doing absolute bits so far to hold on from Max. But here comes Argent, then his teammate looking up the inside of Sekulovic. The outside line isn't the worst line here, and is Sekulovic going to have a look at Max? They break into the chicane, and somehow no contact is made. PN scaling on these two. Back to the front. Sutty gaps... Excuse me. Sutty gaps X-Fate a little bit, and Tibbs still on the back of Daz.
I like how Smithy started to create a little trolley train.
Yeah, he has a little bit. Max,
we went deep.
I think Max has tapped in wide there. Max is now... Oh, they've all come together. Oh, and Sekulovic has caught PN. Now, did Max push
I missed
Smithy
it.
wide, which then Argent
Sekovic is
bounced?
stationary.
Yeah, I tell you what, that is so unlucky. I think
Yes.
everybody's bounced off everybody there.
Yeah. The cameraman was a bit
Yeah, it
interested,
wasn't-
so I didn't see it.
Wasn't the best friend, Sekulovic.
At that
Wow.
corner, it's a bit glitchy.
Look at Sekulovic's damage to the front of that car. He's got to be careful. He's got AKA Fix coming to pass him. Sekulovic has got to pit here. We've lost another driver. We've lost
Yeah,
Max Mulder.
He flew. I think he had a disconnection because when I switched to him, he flew off the track like an airplane. I think it's a disconnection.
Okay, Max is saying his game's crashed. That's unfortunate for Max.
I saw.
But you said it was a disconnect. You said his car started to fly, so that would mean a disconnection. And that is out of Max's control. Right, so we're down to 15 drivers. This has helped Bryn, because it means Bryn's got 2 extra places here. And Sekulovic has got a long stop. Can Bryn get back out the pits and get back on his way? Because Sekulovic is going to have a long stop here. Not what Sekulovic would have wanted. Bryn's still stationary in the pits, though. Let's go back to Tibbs and Dabs, who are the closest fight on track. Sekulovic will be having a long stop. Bryn needs to get out the pits to score points. Right, so Max is saying they've had a power cut on the Discord there, it looks like. Yeah, so that's unfortunate for Max Mulder. Right, Daz Automatic, been under pressure from Tibbs all race. X-Fate silent, by the way. He's now 2 seconds behind Sutty, so that Bentley started to come good here as the pit window now opens. And 777 of AK Fix. I wonder if he's going to be the first car in.
So yeah, X-Fate dropped back a bit.
Yeah, he has a little
What
bit.
happened?
Tibbs still on the back of Daz here. A real good battle between these two McLarens, this is.
It is. And maybe that could give a chance to Smokey Devil to close up with this fight.
Yeah, potentially so. Nobody's
And-
decided to pit out the top
Yeah.
drivers yet.
That's
So that's interesting.
Smokey's pitting. I think he's the first one, I believe.
So Bryn, I believe, is Bryn's just came out the pit. So Bryn's on his way now. And he's got a chance now to catch Sekulovic. Smokey Devil, though, first car in the pits for his pit stop. Right, so Smokey's in.
And
We'll
Louis
keep our
Allen
eyes
is
on when
also
that
in the
goes
pits,
green. Louis Allen goes in as well. You keep an eye on who's coming in. We're watching this epic fight between Tibbs and Daz here. Gap still 4/10 of a second. Oh, we've lost Sekulovic now.
Oh, well, that's really unfortunate. So I'll just stay that, by the way.
So Bryn
So
is now. Bryn has now been promoted to 14th place because one driver's disconnected, one driver's had a power cut, and we don't know what's happened to Sekulovic. Right, DJ Phil and PN come in as well. Daz has a little wiggle through the second chicane, but then Tibbs has a wiggle on the exit. So we're down to 14 drivers, and this has helped Bryn to score a few more points in this race. Finished 14th in race 1. Well, he's got a chance. Well, has he got a chance? Big damage means he's laps down at the moment. So he's got to do it all again. Right, Smokey Devil has finished his pit stop. We're watching this fight. Sutty's in. X-Fate's in. I saw her in the foreground. Does Daz think of coming in? Smokey's now off the pit limiter. Doesn't. Tibbs goes in. Daz stays out. Right. Smokey Devil's pit exit. Let's take a look. Out. All nice and clean. Nowhere near the line. Good for him.
In.
Right. Nose is in as well. So Daz leads this race. Here comes Louis Allen. What is he going to do when he gets to the pit exit? Phil, AKA, and PN have been in for a while now as well. Bryn's back in. This will be to change his tyres. Louis Allen out the pits. That's all fine and clear. So that's all good. There's Hypertech. Smithy and Argent come into the hairpin as Hypertech crosses the line. We await the next car to come out the pits here. And who's it going to be? It is going to be DJ Phil, who now starts to move.
Ooh, Argent braked a little bit late at the pit entry.
Oh,
Almost
so that was
He
speeding?
didn't bump.
No, fair enough.
No, it was before. It was before the
Okay.
50.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's nothing that bad. It's just a bit late.
Nothing happening out on track at the moment. Big gaps between every car. We're just watching the drivers come out to pit exit. Sooty and X-Fate finish their stops as well. So AK fixing for a long stop. Here comes PN. Does he get his pit exit right? Absolutely spot on. What about Sooty Apex now? As he's done his stop. 1.8 the gap was to X-Fate. Sooty, fine. X-Fate. Oh, that looked a little close.
Yeah.
Exit Tibbs, the next car. Then it will be AKA Fix. Tibbs, absolutely fine. What about Fix now? Yeah, that's fine. Noser. Yeah, that looked okay to me. Yeah, that looked okay to me. Bryn. I imagine this one will be absolutely fine. Yeah, Bryn, all good. So Argent in the pits, Daz in the pits. Not a lot happening out on track though. Sooty is your net race leader at the minute. But it was, who was it again? It was it Tibbs? Was Tibbs, I think.
Yeah.
Tibbs, pit exit for race 2. That'll be a shame for Tibbs as well, because he's in a good fight for the podium. So Daz is in, Hypertech stays out, Smithy stays out. Argent now leaves the pits. So Daz in a battle with Tibbs here to get out the pit lane. Here comes Argent. Now Argent's got to keep this within track limits here. Does he get the job done? Sooty, by the way, now 4 seconds clear of X-Fate Silent. Argent, job done nice and easy there. Hypertech and Smithy stay out on track. Daz in the pits. Noser within 1 second of Smoky Devil. So Noser trying to gain. He's got AKA Fix splitting them. Bryn, a couple of laps behind AKA Fix. So 14th place looks as good as it'll be for him as Daz now leaves the pit lane. We're halfway through the race. Here comes Daz Automatic. And that is a clean pit exit for him.
And I just watched back the stream and X-Fate had a little, how could I say, so he crossed the pit exit line.
X-Fate?
Quite badly. X-Fate, yeah, and that's unfortunate because he was in the fight for the lead.
Was it X-Fate, not Tibbs, sorry?
Yeah.
So not Tibbs, but X-Fate.
So it's X-Fate, yes. Yes, it's clearly, it's visible on the stream.
That's a shame for X-Fate. We're watching a battle here at the moment. Argent looking up the inside of DJ Phil into that final chicane. Breaks later than DJ Phil. And Argent up the inside. That's put Argent into P10 at the moment. Smithy and Hypertech still yet to pit. Tibbs lost out big time over Daz on their pit stop. And Argent now moves into P10. But Smithy and Hypertech yet to pit at the moment. And all good so far. Hypertech stays out once again. Smithy comes into pit lane. And what's happened to Sooty, actually? X-Fate's third, Daz's fourth, Tibbs. And Sooty's there.
It's an interesting one. So Tibbs is ahead.
Tibbs, X-Fate and Daz are all ahead, yeah.
And Daz, oh yeah.
And Sooty have 4 seconds clear.
But X-Fate will have the 30-second time penalty.
Yeah, it'll be under investigation, obviously, so the stewards can check out that to make sure everything was fine. At the minute, Tibbs again, once again, trying to get onto the back of Daz Automatic here. So Tibbs at the moment on the podium. Smithy into the pits. We'll keep an eye on his stop, but I'm not sure what happened to Sooty Apex then. But he's all of a sudden 4 seconds behind. Daz up to third, Tibbs up to fourth, Sooty will be up to fifth. And where will Smithy come out? He was around his teammates, so this will possibly give Argent 9th place at the moment. As car 21 of Hypertech I've just seen goes off the track. And you see him cut that last chicane. That's because he came into the pit lane. It's not that he's cut the track, it's come into the pit lane. And Hypertech in. Smithy is coming out. I believe Smithy's probably already out. No, he's coming out now. As Argent.
So Hypertech the last one to pit.
Yeah. Smithy. Fine. There. Hypertech last one in. So X-Fate will take the lead of this race. 7 seconds clear of Daz, who's 1 second ahead of Tibbs, who's got Sooty Apex Then 5 seconds behind. Not sure what happened there. Smoky Devil is 6th. You see in the background of Sooty. Then it's Nosy. You see just behind AKA Fix, behind Smoky Devil. Louis Allen is then just coming up to the hairpin to put a lap on Bryn. Smithy at the first chicane. He's dead ahead of his teammate Argent. DJ Phil's 11th. PN is down in 12th, AKA Fix 13th, and Bryn down in 14th after his earlier pit stop. Battle on though, because what's happened to Tibbs? He's had a moment. He's got big damage to the front of his car as Tibbs. And Sooty and Smoky have got through.
Smoky's ahead.
So not sure what happened there to Tibbs. Track temperatures dropped to 19 degrees. The wind has died down to 1 kilometre. Sooty's made a mistake. Tibbs has made a mistake. And all of a sudden, Sooty's back on the podium and needs 5.6 seconds to gain on Daz Automatic as Hypertech's done his stop. He's coming out the pits. Where's Louis Allen? Louis Allen's at the final. No, Louis Allen's just coming past. No, he's gone past Hypertech as Hypertech clips the pit wall on exit. Car 991, that is Smithy, who's lost out to his teammate Argent. Smithy and Argent do not get past Hypertech, who does the pit exit absolutely brilliantly. And Argent gets himself ahead of his teammates. So it's X-Fate Silent from Daz, from Sooty. Smoky Devil, then Tibbs, who's got Louis Allen gaining on him. Tibbs has got some big damage here, Ben.
Yeah, and so it's looking like a Daz Automatic win, because I believe X-Fate will have the time penalty. It was kind of clear.
I believe you're right. Tibbs chooses not to pit, but Tibbs is so slow at the moment that is he going to lose more in the pits, or is he going to lose more driving around? That's the question.
That's a difficult choice.
Yeah.
Especially only 10 minutes from the race, so I think he'll try to go to the end.
Yeah, I think he will as well, as he's gone very wide at turn 1. AK Fix trying to unlap himself. He's probably going to go around the outside. Tibbs isn't going to fight that one too hard as Fix goes rider out. Fix went that deep and still, they've touched!
Ooh, they made contact.
Fix and Tibbs have touched! Louis Allen is through! Hypertech is only at the hairpin though.
It means more damage to Tibbs.
Yeah. So Nose is through. Louis Allen, where is he? He's coming round now to get on the back of Tibbs, but like you say, Ben, it's more damage for that McLaren.
Yes, and not sure what happened because it was a cut from our cameraman, so I didn't see clearly what happened.
Yeah, same here.
But they made contact, so...
Louis Allen on the back of Tibbs. Hypertech is... Where's car 21? He's coming through turn 2 at the minute, is Hypertech. So you have to think that Hypertech here could possibly get on the back of Tibbs in this race with 9 minutes left.
Yes. And Louis Allen is now attacking Tibbs.
So on with Louis Allen. You see the front end of that McLaren is just non-responsive. Look, he just can't get it turned in. Louis Allen tucks underneath. He's going to have the inside line for the hairpin. And for Louis Allen, job done.
Let's see if he pits this time.
He's got a lot of damage on his car. He's surely got to think of boxing here, does Tibbs, as the cameraman struggles to pick them up. He's going to stay out. He's going to stay out. Right, where is Hypertech? Hypertech has actually lost out to Argent, so I think Hypertech's had a problem at the chicane. So it's Argent, the next car, who is coming up towards the hairpin. Right, gap out front. X-Fate 5.3 clear of Daz, who is only 4.7 clear of Sooty. That looks like it's job done. Smoky Devil about to lap PN. He is 5 seconds off the back of Sooty Apex. Noser in his Aston Martin. He's 6 seconds off the back of Smoky. That is AKA Fix off once again here. Rejoins the track. Tibbs already a second behind Louis Allen, and he only got overtaken at the hairpin. What's it going to be through that first sector? 2.2. So in one sector he's lost 1.2 seconds. So for Tibbs here, he's losing a lot of time. And the question is, I suppose, Argent's ahead of Hypertech. Argent's just coming into turn 4, while Tibbs is at the second chicane. So it's a bit of a big gap. Will Argent get to the first sector time before Tibbs gets to the second sector? The gap's 26 seconds. So let's keep our eyes on this. DJ Phil trying to gain on Smithy. That's 2.5 seconds. Tibbs to Louis Allen's 2.8, as we know. And Bryn actually getting close. In fact, AK Fix has had a moment. He's got big damage, He needs to get that moving. He does now, but Bryn's unlapped himself from Fix. With Fix pits, this could bring Bryn back into this race. Right, Argent. As Tibbs comes into the final chicane, Argent's just going to get to that second. It was 26. It's now 25.4. So Argent's pulled a second in one sector. Wow.
Yeah,
Tibbs is losing a lot of time.
Sector. Yeah, but it's only 6 minutes. Kind of 6 minutes from the race, so...
3 seconds a lap, that's not enough, really.
I think Tibbs has a really great chance to keep that P7.
Car 21, that's Hypertech, who's gone deep and off at the hairpin, and he just rejoins ahead of these two of Smithy and DJ Phil, who are having a cracking little scrap here, Smithy and Phil are. Smithy trying to defend from DJ Phil, and AKA Fix is in the pits. This will give Bryn the opportunity of maybe getting 13th place. Argent's gap 24.8, so he gained 1.4 seconds in the final sector. So keep your eyes on that into sector 1 as Tibbs has just gone through it. Argent's coming around turn 3. We're currently watching the DJ Phil Smithy battle. Phil to the outside, very, very wide as Smithy gets onto the marbles, and that is never going to work there for DJ Phil. Argent comes to that sector at 1 timing beam. 22.2. He's gaining about 1.4, 1.5 seconds a sector at the moment. So Argent, is he going to run out of time? That's the biggest question. What do you think, Ben? Is Argent got enough to do this?
I think it's late, so only 5.5 minutes. I think it's not possible. But well, anything can happen, so if Tibbs makes another mistake, of course.
Well, the gap's now 20 seconds exactly, so he's gained about 2 seconds there in that middle sector, so we'll see what it is into the final sector. Phil's lost time to Smithy here. I'm just looking at the track. Tibbs is coming into turn 1. Argent's at the final chicane now. Bryn has passed AKA Fix. I think that might now put Bryn on the same lap as AKA Fix. As we're still watching the Phil and Smithy battle. Gap was 20 seconds exactly. It's 18.9. He's gained 1.1 again. But like we say, Ben, has he ran out of time with just under 5 minutes to go?
I think Tibbs. It's really hard to pronounce that exist. So, yeah, I think he will keep P7, in my opinion. Yeah.
Well, it was 19.8. Sorry, 18.8. So let's see what the gap is through sector 1.
Gaining a lot.
16.1. So nearly 2 seconds again there he's gained as DJ Phil's going to have a look on the back of Smithy once more. And Phil nearly taps the back of Smithy there.
I think Tibbs started to be more cautious, so...
Possibly.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll see. Well, either way, these two, who we're watching at the minute, Smithy and Phil, well, a great little fight, but they're going to have the race leader on the back of them at the moment. DJ Phil goes to the outside of Smithy. You're not going to get it done on the outside of the chicane. And the Tuck's back in behind at the moment then. So far, so good. If you're Smithy... And I'll tell you what, driver of the day is going to be a hard one here. Don't know who to put on this list.
Yeah, it will be a tough choice.
I've gone for four that's had two decent races. Smithy's a bit wide. DJ Phil's going to look up the inside. Does he get it stopped? No. He's gone very deep.
They both
Smithy did as well, yeah.
Yeah, but the cameraman can't follow, but I saw them. Yeah,
and
so
Smithy stays in front.
Defending. Yeah.
Right, gap, Argent to Tibbs, 13.6. Where is Tibbs on track? He's just gone through sector 1. Argent's now coming. Tibbs is at the first chicane. It's now... As Argent goes through the... Sorry, that was Bryn going towards first chicane. It's now 12 seconds in 3 minutes. Oh, this is going to be close. We're currently watching the Smithy DJ Phil fight here. Great battle at the moment between these two. But Smithy doing everything he needs to do at the moment to stay ahead of DJ Phil. It's Phil who's making a mistake. Sutty's closed the gap to 2.6 to Daz Automatic at the moment. So we'll have to keep our eyes on that.
Yeah, it may be the fight for P1 actually with X, so it's
yeah, could be. Argent's 10.5 seconds as DJ Phil goes up the inside of Smithy at the chicane. Is he going to get the move done this time? You bet you he does. Smithy tries to fight back, They have a little tap of each other. They've got Daz Automatic coming to lap them, and these two are side by
Smithy had a
side.
nice exit, but
He's got a great exit. Looks up the inside into the second chicane. Daz is trying to lap them. Smithy on the inside. Daz gets past Phil, and nearly collects Smithy there. As Daz now gets past Smithy, and Smithy's let Phil through. And Smithy out the way of Sutty. DJ Phil's now got to get out the way of Sutty. Let's go back to Tibbs, who's coming through turn 2 into turn 3. Argent's gap is 10 seconds still. Sutty to Daz, 1.9. X-Fate leads this race. There's Daz. DJ Phil needs to move out the way of Sutty. Apex, he stays to one side, and Sutty gets up the inside of DJ Phil. That gap is 1.9. What is the gap, though? Tibbs to Argent. As they come towards Sector 1, Bryn's closing on Tibbs like mad. And the gap's 8.6. And X-Fate's probably just started. In fact, where is X-Fate? Car 54. We'll see if he gets... This might be the last lap of the race, you know.
yeah.
So,
Because it's only
Argent's going to have one more lap left in this race. And I don't think he's close enough. But we go back to Sutty, who is 1.9 off the back of Daz. As they cross the line. Daz needs to have a clean lap here.
Yeah, and Daz also lost a bit of time with the fight of Smithy and the DJ Phil.
Yeah, indeed he did. Indeed he did.
It was an interesting one with the blue flag rules.
Sutty's gap's actually gone back up to 2 seconds. Let's go back to X-Fate, though. It's coming up towards the hairpin. Argent's gap's down to 7.1. If I know Argent, he is going to be pushing like mad in that car to try and get it as close to Tibbs as he possibly can. They're going to get one more lap. X-Fate silent then here. He'll want the extra lap to try and maybe open up that 30-second gap, knowing he crossed the pit exit line. As driver of the day is in the chat, Daz, Smithy, Nose or Argent, get your votes in. Here comes X-Fate silent now. It is going to be a second race win on the track of the season. It's going to be X-Fate silent, who is going to take the race win on the track, but is under investigation. Daz Automatic then could now be lining up for the race win. We'll see. He's P2. Sutty in P3. Great result from them boys. Smokey Devil, good result for P4. He could find himself on the podium in a few moments' time. Good P4 for Smokey Devil. Noza looks like he's going to get P5. As Smithy has crossed the line in 11th. So Noza P5. PM Motorsport has crossed the line in P12. Louis Allen gets across the line in P6. Exit Tibbs then at the hairpin at the moment. We await the cameraman to pan around. DJ Phil has finished in P10. And there, look, Tibbs. Argent needed one more lap, I reckon.
Yeah. Only one lap, I think.
What a shame for Argent. So it's going to be P7 for Tibbs. It's going to be P8 for Argent. Yeah, very close. So 7th for Tibbs. He hangs on in the end. 8th for Argent. Bryn will come across for P15. Unfortunate for Bryn. And we now just await Hypertech to come across for P9. We'll get Ben's thoughts in a moment to driver of the day. But what a fascinating evening that was of racing. A lot of carnage.
It was indeed.
A lot of incidents.
Yeah, like I said before the race, it's a narrow, really fast track, and you need a lot of concentration. And yeah, imagine this truck in the wet.
Yeah, imagine this truck in the wet.
So
we may find out tomorrow night.
I don't want.
No, I don't want neither. I don't want neither. But that then was your race of round 7 and 8 for this Pro-Am Championship here at SimPlay Motorsport. The pros will be on track tomorrow night. Myself and Ben will be on track with Dan Davis and PM Motorsport bringing you the action in that one. Ben, driver of the day in the chat looks like it's gone the way of Daz. Give us your vote for driver of the day and your final thoughts of this race.
It's a really difficult one. But I think I go with Smithy because as I watched him, he looked like he is really fighting with that car, and he had beautiful saves, and also the race one was... he did a really great job, so of course that race 2 wasn't a top 10 finish, but for me it's Smithy. Yeah,
do you know what? I'm going to give mine to Smithy as well. Yeah, no, I'm going to give mine to Smithy as well. I think Smithy did fantastic there.
Yes.
And I think that was absolutely brilliant. If Sutty can hear us, or if anybody's talking Sutty, tell him to get himself in the party and we'll have a quick chat with him. As we can speak with Daz. And Daz, a pretty good race there. You had a good battle with Tibbs early on, and Sutty was gaining on you at the end.
Yeah, my tyre pressures on the front were too low at the start, so I couldn't shake Tibbs off. And then I got caught up with DJ Phil and Smithy at the end of the race. They were fighting going into the second chicane, so it slowed me up a little bit, but just managed to hang in there.
Hang in there indeed. It was a good battle from Phil and Smithy. They was having a good fight. We actually saw that you just got past as they come into the second chicane.
Oh, I know. It was a bit nerve-wracking, to be fair. I didn't want to plus didn't want to spin off and then let Sutty come through.
Yeah, indeed. I'm just looking here. I've just noticed a lot of drivers. Mike has noted AK Fix, Nosette, Tibbs, X-Fate Silence and Smithy for pit exit. I only noted X-Fate. Either way, Daz, X-Fate under investigation for his pit exit in that second race.
Yeah.
That's going to give you a lot of thoughts, because that is a slam dunk. If he has crossed it, that's a slam dunk 30-second penalty and could be a race win for yourself.
Actually, I believe you won the race because on the stream it was quite visible for X-Fate to cross that line.
Yeah. So if he is found to be guilty, Daz, could be a race winner.
I'd like to do it on track, but I'll take a win. That'd be great. Great
Brands
points for the
Hatch.
team.
It will be great points for the team. Brands Hatch next week. What can you do around there?
Try and keep it up with the grass and the gravel, to be fair. I've got a pretty decent setup for this at the moment, which is working. Just hope it works there.
Well, Daz, congratulations on tonight. Well done on the second place and potential race win.
Cheers, guys.
And we are joined by P3, what could be P2 though, Sutty Apex. Sutty, good evening.
I am absolutely disgusted in myself.
Why?
Because when I lost it, I didn't shift down, I was in third. I was like, oh no.
So it was your own mistake that cost you this race win?
Yeah, for some reason I was struggling to shift down, and when I looked, I was like, oh, I'm in third. I should have just straight lined it, to be fair, but I tried to make the corner and didn't. But yeah, it was good.
Good second race though. Put race one behind you, didn't you, there? And it was a good second race.
Oh yeah, I had good pace, so I'm a bit fuming with myself, to be honest, but that's how it goes, isn't it? But,
Yeah, that is.
I'll take P3. I was getting on Daz, I had loads of damage.
We know you're a bit of a tinkerer. What setup did you run in that race?
My own.
Yeah. See? Wouldn't spam with mine on, would you? Either way,
I tried, yeah.
it was a good race, wasn't it, for yourself? It was better than race one. You got to put that one to bed, and it could potentially be a P2.
Yeah, it could be. It annoyed me race one because I was doing faster lap. I was doing fastest lap. I was getting fastest lap in the 29. For some reason, race two seemed a bit different. The rear end seemed a bit more twitchy. But yeah, P2 would be good. I'd take P2 if he has cut the pit exit.
I'm brave enough to shoot out the P2 for you.
I
I saw it up quite clearly, so I think, yeah.
It's Brands Hatch next week. What can you do around Brands Hatch? Obviously, you know the circuit well. It's a circuit we've had many races on, me and yourself as well personally. Can you go well around there?
It's a track I like. I haven't really tried it in the Bentley, so it's a bit of an unknown. It's a bit like tonight. It was my first night on the wheel around Zolder in the Bentley. That's typical me, isn't it?
Yeah, it is typical. Turning up on the wheel. Well done, Sutty. Congratulations on your race tonight. We'll hopefully see you out there on track next week. Ben, tomorrow night, me and you onto the track. Looking forward to it?
Yeah, we had a fight last season, so let's see.
Hopefully, it's a lot cleaner than what we saw from Pro-Am tonight from the Pro Boys. If you want to tune in for the Pro action, make sure you join Dan Davis and PM Motorsport live for the action. 8 PM UK time for that one. If you want to see me and Ben back on the commentary box, check out next week as we head to Brands Hatch. We're on English territory. Don't worry, we're coming to Hungary for Ben at the end of the season, but we're on British soil next week for Brands Hatch. I'll be back on Tuesday night, 8 o'clock UK time with PM Motorsport. Myself and Ben will be back next Tuesday as well for the Pro-Am action. Do not miss it. Daz gets driver of the day from the chat. We both gave Smithy our driver of the day in the commentary box. From all of us here at SimPlay Motorsport, take care. Good night.
Good night.
Freedom, I never had the chance to run. Leave behind the said and done. Figure out what's to come. Reasons, all the bigger things I can't ignore. I'm not getting what I came here for. Gotta get ahead of something more. So I think I found a new way out, way beyond a shadow of doubt. 'Cause I can't breathe. And I guess I could be stronger now and leave it up to fate somehow. But I'm doing this for me. Give it up, baby, I'm not fooling anyone. Always going on and on. Can't you keep it to yourself for once? Oh, I think I found a new way out, way beyond your shadow of doubt. And I can't breathe. Oh, I hope you're keeping count of all the times you let me down, and all the things you said out loud, the bullshit I could cry about. And I know we could be stronger now and leave it up to fate somehow. But everything I do for me.
I get lost sometimes and I can't seem to find a light between the walls I built for myself right in my mind. And then you came over and you showed me love that I never had seen before. And now when I got you, it's all gonna be alright. Thinking about all the things we did tonight, what a time to be alive. Just you and I, just you and I. Only you can put the fire out. You can turn it all around. You can lift me off the ground, so we can fly again, so we can fly again. I've been trying hard not to go out of my mind. And all I need right now is for you to stay the night. But if you keep saying that you've got to leave, then I'm gonna be alright. As long as you tell me that we ain't running out of time. Thinking about all the things we did tonight, what a time to be alive. Just you and I, just you and I. Only you can put the fire out. You can turn it all around. And you can lift
traveling near the speed of light do decay more slowly than stationary particles. As strange and counterintuitive as it seems, time dilation is a law of nature.
G.